My dearest viewer, indications are very strong that we shall stream in a few days, perhaps tonight. Lest I should not be able to write you again, I feel impelled to write a few lines that may fall under your eye when I shall be no more. Our show may be one of a few hours' duration and full of pleasure, and it may be one of severe pain and death to me. Not my will, but thine, O God, be done. If it is necessary that I should fall on the video game playthrough for any channel, I am ready. I have no misgivings about or lack of confidence in the cause in which I am engaged, and my courage does not halt or falter. I know how strongly the gamer nation now leans upon the triumph of players, and how great a debt we owe to those who went before us, through the blood and suffering of the angry reviewer years, and I am willing, perfectly willing, to lay down all my joys in this life to help maintain this genre and to pay that debt. I cannot describe to you my feelings on this calm winter night, when, insert number of viewers here, are tuned in around me. Many of them enjoying the last perhaps before that of clicking away, and I, suspicious that Activision is creeping behind me with his fatal dart, am communing with God, my channel, and thee. Viewer, do not mourn me, dear. Think I am gone, and wait for me, for we shall meet again. Hello, Chucky. Hello, Sid.
Hey, Cass.
Hey, Cass.
Welcome, one and all. Welcome to the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Welcome to Gods and Generals. This is the show in which we play Gods and Generals, a PC game of ill repute, released March 1st, 2003, for Windows exclusively. This one didn't make the console, surprisingly. Developed by Anavision, we'll get into who that is during the history section, and published by Activision Value Publishing. So, I suppose here at the start of all things, I should ask y'all, what is your familiarity with the Civil War? Sharky?
Well, I'm from the South, but I'm from New Orleans, so it is kind of a bit of a cultural oasis in the South, which is to say, you don't see too many Confederate flags here, relative to the rest of the South. So, obviously, I had to learn about it as part of school. And we had relatively few people in my class who were the South will rise again. And we had a couple, inescapable. But I've mostly been spared of the particularly egregious parts of the southern United States that is still not let go on being complete losers.
Very good. Sid, how about you?
I'm from Chicago, but as a person of color, I'm obviously very open to and interested in Confederate apologia. So I'm just always let's hear him out for a sec, right? So that's a big part of it. But I did go to college in North Carolina, and I will say, 2013 at an open mic stand-up set I did make a joke about all the Confederate statues in town, and everyone liked it. So how about that for the culture war?
Damn right. Would you mind sharing what you said when you said you wanted on this episode? Do you recall what you said to get on this episode to me?
Yes. For maybe other reasons, but most prominently, I'm the only commentator for Bad Game Hall of Fame who wouldn't have civil rights if the Confederacy won. So I thought I could grant my perspective a little bit.
Yeah, it's certainly appreciated, that perspective. I feel a bit like Heather Ann Campbell right now. We should also mention...
I should also mention, by the way, lest I be called out on it, I say that I'm from, New Orleans, which is a bit of a cultural oasis, and we don't have that much Confederate stuff. We did have General Lee Circle with a statue of General Lee in it. I did mean relative to the rest of the South, we had less of that Confederate shit. Although that is gone now. It has been renamed. So finally, the Union has won.
It was a long-fought battle, but we got there. I should mention at the top as well that this game was the winner of a patron poll where I put up a number of Lithtech games, Lithtech budget games, mostly. I think I also put a Shogo Mobile Armor Division on. That was our second place. So one from actual Monolith Productions, but fucking Lithtech. It is a well we will draw from again, boy howdy. Though Anavision, this will be their one and only time featuring on the Bad Game Hall of Fame, because this is their one and only game that was commercially released in its capacity as like a box product.
I thought you were going to say the rest of them were bangers.
Not quite. We'll get into it, like I said. But before we get into that, before we get into any of that business, we got to get into the rations, the classic soldier's ration, their haversack. Open it up. What do you find? Probably some hardtack, maybe some weevils and worms in the hardtack. But you might also find turkey stream snack.
All right, well, tonight's stream snack is hardtack.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's
A lot of new hardtack.
it's
Those musty notes
Actually,
that you really want in a drink, in an energy drink.
it's actually quite the exact opposite of hardtack. I'm having Brazzi bites, which are those soft little bread bites with some cheddar and Parmesan on them. And I'm also having a Ghost Orange Cream, which is one of my favorite energy drinks. Although a little light on the caffeine at only 160 grams. So hopefully I'll be able to stay awake. This isn't going to be like the movie, right? This isn't going to be 6 hours.
Oh, thank God, no, it won't. This game is
Okay.
brief, luckily. Anywhere between 1.5 to 2.5 hours.
All right, well, I think I should be able to make it through with the rations I have available. Sid, what are you having tonight?
Well, I have a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I think last time I was on here, I had one too. And I was like, oh, the caramel chocolate flavor doesn't really taste like caramel chocolate. Just in case that was a fluke, I had it again. That's still true. But now they've added protein milk as an option, and it tastes like milk. So, kind of a
With beefy milk.
yeah. I'm not gonna have it yet, but I had Chinese with my partner and we had bonbon chicken, so I still have the sauce from that left over, and I have some fried chicken. So you can see why I would wait until after the show to have this combination. But I tried a little bit of it, and it's very good.
All right, and Cassidy, what are you having?
Oh, being period accurate, you know how I thrive, I strive even, to tie my products into the show. So what I have here is a 160-year-old can of Monster Energy Ultraviolet. Fuck, I should have done something. Maybe I could have made like a bad lemonade or something. I do have lemonade in the fridge. I could go get a lemonade. It's too late now, and I kind of need this. I kind of need the boost of energy to get through the night, possibly.
All right. And that's treating you good?
Well as it ever does.
All right, well, I think that will do it then for Turkey Stream Snack.
Very good. Thank you. And so now, on this darkest of days, that's actually a different game. That's a different playthrough.
Yep.
We'll do that one
Different
some other
game.
day. Let's just cut away to that 4x3 screen. Why don't we? Oh, almost spoiled the detail there. Let's cut to the slideshow. How about that? Got a few slides
Quite the
prepared
north one.
here. Not much pre-written, but I know this history. I know it well. I've lived much of this history. God, wrong slide again. I'm misfiring. My gun,
You know
my
how-
black powder is free firing in the chamber.
You know how the minions, like, they wrote into the story that they were, like, all put on ice during World War II? So they could get around, like, having to write that bit of history? What were the minions up to during the Civil War?
You don't want to know. What I do want to know about is Activision's value publishing label, known as Activision Value Publishing, established in 2000. Obviously, Activision long predates that, being the first ever third-party developer, and therefore one of the longest-lasting publishers in the industry. So, building up to 2000, I think August 2000, they had been on a bit of an acquisition spree. They had been picking up a number of other budget publishers in the PC game space. Primarily, the three big ones are Head Games, who you may know for Extreme Paint Brawl et al., a bunch of other stuff that is sure to feature on the show. I would really like to get around to Extreme Boards and Blades at some point. They're a second studio in Expert Software, who mostly did like compilation games, like, 40 games for Windows and various solitaire compilations. And they also went and published like Sonic R and like Sonic 3 and Knuckles on PC at different points. They somehow got the rights to port and publish those on behalf of Sega. And then the third studio of note here is Elsinore Studio, who were just Cabela's Big Game Hunter publishers. So Activision took all those different publishers, took all those different labels, took all their games, incorporated them, re-released them under the Activision Value Publishing label, and then set about continuing to publish budget games for the PC. We talk a fair bit about budget PC publishing, value titles, and whatnot here on the Bad Game Hall of Fame. But, some of our younger audience may not have been around for the era of going to, like, Staples and Office Depot and things that are not primarily or traditionally video game outlets. And they would always have sections with just the big box PC games, and they'd have the bins as well, where they just drop all the budget games. And, of course, you'd also find them at the likes of Walmart and what have you, but I distinctly remember seeing the game we're about to play tonight on the shelves of a Staples at a moment in time in the year 2003 or 4, which is, I do have a box copy. Not from back then. I did not make the purchase. As a teenager, I was not particularly inclined to purchase a budget Civil War game, but I have since gone on to collect this game in particular.
Get the Platinum re-release edition.
The Game of the Year edition, if you will.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Activision Value Publishing, they had a pretty strong period of, like, I'd say about, like, 10, 12 years before Activision started to move away from the value publishing. So I think, like, one of the last titles released under that label would have been, like, a re-release of DreamWorks Superstar Karts. Tie it back. We can never get away from Cursed Kart Racers here on the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Even with that series finally done, it all comes back. So yeah, that's just a bit of background on the publisher here. Obviously, Activision, the scope of them, too large to contain in this little preamble. Who we are going to go into a bit more depth on are Anavision, a developer who had been around since 1994 and came to a close sometime in the year 2004. And yet, this game, this Gods and Generals, is the only offering of theirs that is available to play, that is noted on games databases, that is preserved in any capacity. The truth is that they had actually put out a number of games, a number of novel games at that. So there was this company called Thermo Information Solutions, founded in Huntsville, Alabama, in around the early 90s. They primarily did 3D animation, focus towards like online distribution. They got big into like interactive television channels and all these emerging technologies in the early days of the internet. So Anavision really is branched out as their game development subdivision. They shift their focus towards that in 1999. They establish Robert Wells as the CEO and chairman of the board. And they primarily dabbled in advert games, the phenomenon of brands coming to them saying, we want to promote our wares online. Can you help us with this? We'll pay you on the cheap. Flash games, a lot of early Flash games. But Anavision did go sort of an extra mile in a lot of these pursuits. I should also mention they did education and tourism-focused sort of advert games and digital experiences online. But their real passion seemed to be like in sports, in particular, motorsports. In the year 2000, they launched a service called Net Race Live, and a game along with it, Indy Net Race Live. And the concept of this is basically, you ever heard of that iRacing? Where it's like hardcore simulation racing based on real races and real race data and whatnot. Yeah, they did that in 2000. So that's honestly very forward thinking of them, and they did get a lot of acclaim for that. I believe I have here a feature in a CGW Computer Graphics World dating back to 2000, where they are highlighted and celebrated as being on the cutting edge, which they were to a certain extent. To play, gamers connect to the Anavision game server using, at minimum, a PC Pentium 2, 266 MHz with 32 megabytes of RAM and an 8 megabyte 3D graphics card for optimal performance. Once users download the NetRace Live player, they're ready to start their engines. When the event, referring to like real life racing events, has occurred, all the simulations will be available on the site indefinitely for players to access. And you can continue to read that article. They highlight the graphical realism. They talk about the biggest challenges in developing it, which they say were accurately depicting the gamer's virtual car as it interacts with the race cars recreated from the stream data. So that kind of gives away that a big part of this is that wasn't necessarily online in the way that I believe like an iRacing is. So it would be like, you would plop yourself in the seat of one of the racers on a given like real life race event, and then they would simulate the data for the other cars and to be racing alongside that. I wonder if, and this is me speculating because there's so little data, so little information preserved on this company in the products they were putting out at around this time. This wasn't the only one. They had a few other similar experiences to this that they were trying to push. If I can check the Anavision website, my archive of a snapshot of the Anavision website, I see some other things they were advertising here include Anavision SEC football. They have a stock car racing game, a winter racing series that might actually be tied into the car stuff. And if I go to the LinkedIn profile of one Brian Mitchell, who is a guy who continues to be in the industry, he has a note on his LinkedIn profile where he was president and technical director at Anavision between 1999 and July 2004. So from its inception to its end. Some of the games they mentioned here are NASCAR Net Race Live, which is a network racing game, so I wonder if that one was online. They mentioned the SEC Anavision football game service and the Gods and Generals PC game. Then he goes on to mention development of commercial adver games, Einhauser-Busch Trade and Paint Online Racing Series, the Bass Fishing Online Challenge, and Ford Racing Challenge. So yeah, primarily racing games, but they dabbled in some other aspects and in some other genres and other sorts of digital experiences. And yeah, the fact that none of these are traditional games means that games databases, the likes of your Moby Games and Game FAQs, will just cite this as the one credit they got. I don't believe they have an extensive Wikipedia article either. I think it just mentioned Gods and Generals, if it even exists at all. If I'm just inventing the article in my head, it might not even exist. All this is to say that they were kind of on the cutting edge for a minute there in the online space. They came out of the Web 1.0 bubble bursting and endeavored to do some unique stuff online that has been completely lost to time. And so the only product that stands for them, that is representative of them, is unfortunately this piece of hot garbage we're going to play tonight. Which, it's always unfortunate. I just want to give them the benefit of the doubt, because again, this is the only time we'll be able to feature anything of theirs on this show, barring some sort of miracle where Net Racing Live is resurrected from the dead or whatever. But, these developers of bad games can sometimes come from, like, a place of genuine creativity and technical innovation, and then you have to wonder what goes wrong in the one game they end up being infamous for. And so maybe we'll explore a bit of that as we get into the game tonight. Speaking of that game, did y'all know that Gods and Generals was a movie film? A 2003 movie film. So, back in 1993, there was this director named Ronald F. Maxwell who put out a film called Gettysburg, which was largely celebrated in its time, obviously centering around the Battle of Gettysburg as part of the American Civil War. It had been a passion project of Ronald F. Maxwell to produce this picture. A big part of it is that these really large-scale historical battles that were brought to life by Civil War reenactors. They brought a bunch of Civil War LARPers out into the filming locations, barely paid them anything. Maybe they comped their travel and that was it. And they showed up en masse in their own costumes with authentic Civil War cannons and muskets and the like. And they allowed the scale of these battles in this film to be like genuinely quite impressive. A little less impressive is the Confederate apologia that exists in that movie, that I think one of the only people in that time to say a fucking word about it was Gene Siskel, who like rightly pointed out that it was kind of a piece of Southern propaganda, a bloated piece of Southern propaganda at that. Whereas Roger Ebert, who is a reviewer, a film critic who I do genuinely respect, gave it a thumbs up, just completely ignored that bit. So a weird bit of disparate opinion there. But anyway, Gettysburg, 1993. By the way, I should also mention that it was largely produced, funded by one Ted Turner, who just put up like a lot of the money for it. And then 10 years later, they decide, that is to say, Ronald F. Maxwell decides that he wants to make a prequel to Gettysburg, if you can call it that. If you can call this like a prequel, if you can call like historical movies about historical periods in history, prequels and sequels to one another. So 10 years later, we get Gods and Generals, releases in theaters February 21st, 2003. Again, mostly financed by Ted Turner. Except this time around, there is no love for this movie. It is a critical and box office bomb. But why? Probably the fact that it's 219 minutes long and it's one of the most boringest fucking movies to ever exist. It's also one of the most just repulsive bits of lost cause propaganda. Just being completely from the perspective of the Confederates. There are some scenes where they cut to Northerners being all Nancy boys and sissies, if not completely incompetent, whereas all the Southern generals are like portrayed as the most honorable men to ever exist. It's gross. It's bad. There are scenes where black people beg to be led into the fight and say, I don't want no freedom. I just want to fight for my master. And it's just like, it's the worst. And you know what's worse for me is that I watched it last night to prepare for this. I watched the director's cut, which is 4.5 fucking hours long. I watched it at double speed and it still felt like 8 fucking hours. This is one of the most repulsive pieces of shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. And the funniest thing about it, possibly the most amusing thing to come from it, is that they try to yassify John Wilkes Booth throughout the course of the movie. They try to make him out to be like this big, desirable, sexy man, the greatest actor of his time. The women fawn and swoon over him as he's espousing like, no, I don't care much for this Abraham Lincoln fella. Gee, I wonder if anything will happen there. I guess I'll have to wait for the fucking sequel film. I guess I'll have to wait till the next installment in the Ronald F. Maxwell Civil War trilogy to see how that fucking turns out, to see that fucking plot thread resolved. Yeah. If there's one credit I can give to this, there's exactly one battle sequence in this that is like almost impressive to see. I mean, it's all like the production and the scale of the battles from Gettysburg, I think to a slightly lesser extent here. But like ultimately, there's like one sneak attack scene that is almost shot interestingly. Nothing else in this film is. There's no cinematography on display in this fucking thing. It's just boring shots of boring fucking people saying boring fucking dialogue, and just like espousing how great the Confederacy is and how it's God's directive that we wage this war now for our independence. And I love the country, but I love Virginia, and. Yeah, there's a reason why audiences didn't go for this one, and it's because
but if it was
taste,
Marvel's Gods and Generals, and everyone would love it.
If only Marvel had a Civil War they could fucking call on to harken back to these heady days. Yeah, I don't know why I did this to myself. I really don't know why I did this to myself and watched the full 4.5 hour movie last night. I had to be informed. I guess I had to be informed. I knew going in it was going to be bad, but you never know how bad. I do also want to take this moment to start some beef with a YouTube channel that is much bigger than ours. I didn't want to watch Gettysburg, so I watched a summary of the events of it from a channel called History Buffs, which reviews historical movies. And I guess the gimmick is that they don't give a fuck whether a movie is good or bad or not. They only care if it's historically accurate. And so the more historically inaccurate a movie is, if they take any liberties whatsoever, creative or otherwise, or compress stuff for time, then a movie's bad. But Gettysburg is great, you see, because they got all these hicks, racists, Civil War reenactors, who the movie wouldn't have been possible without a single, like, whiff of acknowledgement of the fact that, like, most of those dudes showing up were probably pro-Confederate. Were probably Confederate reenactors because they fucking love the Confederacy, because they
Wait,
want
hold
the
up,
South to
question.
rise again.
Wait, hold up. What about the people on the Union side of the Civil War reenactors?
I'm still a little suspect. Let's say I don't trust historical war reenactors as a general principle, but that's my cross to
Or a
bear, I
God
suppose.
principle.
This History Buffs dude cross to bear is that he somehow goes the entire review without mentioning gods and generals, despite using clips from gods and generals, and doesn't say fucking anything about the South apologia. He says, like, a little bit of lip service. Bear in mind, Gettysburg, just as much, maybe a little less, of the lost cause myth preeminent in it than versus gods and generals. But his hand wave for that is just like, well, they also show some scenes from the Northerners' side, so they're showing both sides. Even though, again, the Northerners are, like, shown as, like, snobby and, like, unprincipled, undisciplined, and, like, in the wrong. They're, like, made out to be the incompetent villains across both of these movies, but not a
And that's
fucking...
why they won.
And it's not a single acknowledgement of this shit. Like, come on, motherfucker. Like, just, like, have a little fucking self-awareness. Be willing to explore these movies outside of just the context of history. Explore the context of movies as fucking movies, as products that are put out into a market for an audience. You disingenuous fuck. Anyhow, that's a YouTube channel I don't much care for a multitude of reasons. But it really highlighted in that video, really gave me the ick, as the kids say. So we move along, acknowledging that this movie comes out in 2003, and that there is a want for a tie-in video game to this movie. That, in the early 2000s, the joke hadn't run its course yet that movie tie-in video games are, as a whole, generally pretty bad. Or they just don't care, or they recognize that the sort of person who would go for a Civil War South apologia movie is probably, there's some amount of crossover in the Venn diagram of people who go to Walmart to buy Deer Hunter and whatnot, all these other products that Activision Value Publishing is putting out there in the market. So this is an opportunity for them, for sure, to put out something on shelves at a budget price that is ostensibly meant to run on low-end PCs, that anyone can just pick up and play and get a 2 hours worth of game out of. Things don't go exactly according to plan, and perhaps the first issue is the choice of engine. Y'all ever heard of Monolith Productions? They're pretty cool. They made some good games. No One Lives Forever, Fear, et al. And a lot of these games, most of their games as a matter of fact, run off of their own proprietary engine known as Lithtech. Lithtech is a capable engine, capable of great things in great games. It's unfortunate then that Monolith, in their efforts to compete with the likes of the Quake engine idtech and Unreal at this time, started licensing out Lithtech to basically the lowest bidders. Throughout multiple iterations of this engine, they end up licensing it to every schlock auteur looking to put out a budget game in the early to mid 2000s. In particular, the Lithtech Jupiter engine, that branch of the engine, which I believe comes out in around 2003. It's the engine that powers No One Lives Forever 2, A Spy in Harm's Way. And some of the innovations to this engine include the ability to gain skill points as you progress through a game and level up particular stats. So what you start to see in budget games is a bunch of them that very curiously start having stat development, start having like, skill point allocation as a feature in their games that all these budget publishers don't really fully understand how to implement clearly, but feel a need to anyway because it's there in the engine. So just to name a few games powered by the Lithtech Jupiter engine in particular, we have Sniper Path of Vengeance, a Bad Game Hall of Fame classic. Mob Enforcer, also known as Chicago Enforcer, I believe. Terror Wars, New York Invasion, Combat Arms, Wolf Team, because at a certain point, where it really found its niche, where Lithtech really found its driving purpose outside of being the engine for Monolith's own games, is free-to-play first-person shooters, free-to-play online first-person shooters. They start flocking to this engine. So you get a few honest-to-God hits that come from it in that capacity. But ultimately, Lithtech's legacy will always be that of being the engine that powered every schlock, Activision Value Publishing, and what's THQ's division, ValueSoft, that funded, that powered all of their budget first-person shooters, and maybe a few third-person shooters along the way as well. Which is unfortunate, because again, some genuinely good stuff put out in this engine. I know I mentioned No One Lives Forever, but I also have to shout out Tron 2.0, also by way of Monolith Productions, which is maybe one of the most visually interesting first-person shooters of its era, of the year 2003, 4, somewhere in that ballpark. So it was to show that in competent hands, Lithtech could do amazing things. In incompetent hands, it can produce some of the jankiest, worst, least optimized games to come out commercially. And so, needless to say, when Anavision are given the task, are told to produce a first-person shooter adver game on behalf of Activision Value Publishing, I think Activision at this point probably would have had like licenses for Lithtech to go around to allocate to studios under them to develop games on. Or maybe it was Anavision who themselves sought out Lithtech, because I think for all that NetRace Live stuff, I think they used like an off-the-shelf engine for that. They didn't develop their own proprietary game engine. They did all the underlying tech that powered like the NetPlay services and the scraping of telemetry data from the races and whatnot. But engine development was not their forte. I would also go as far as to say that game design was not their forte. Stick to the simulations. Stick to the race cars. Stick to the tracks and cars you know, because this was biting off a little bit more than they could chew, as we'll see in the final product. Speaking of that final product, it does eventually come out, and it is savaged on review. In particular, there is a GameSpot review by way of reviewer Andrew Park. In its written form, it is a scathing indictment of how broken the game is, how bad the presentation is, how broken the AI, all the similarities to No One Lives Forever 2 in terms of interface and such. And the last paragraph of this review goes on to call Gods and Generals the result of, quote, a hopelessly misguided effort to produce something that would be a marketing tool first and the game second, so it's at least possible to understand why it's so appallingly bad. But the written review is not what Andrew Park is remembered here for. Instead, there is a video review that is put out featuring him on camera. It runs about like 2 minutes. It shows gameplay in the background, cuts away to footage of like the first 3 or 4 levels of the game, which to me would indicate they probably didn't make it much further than that. Not that they can be blamed. This game is broken in a multitude of ways, but again, we'll get into that a bit later. But he presents it in the style of like a Ken Burns like documentary, where he's talking in like the full, like, you know, the vernacular I was using at the top, where he's just like, you know, and in those dark days, 2 army of clones set against each other, while showing how every character model in the game is effectively the same. But the big line, the big takeaway, is the final line in the review, in which Andrew Park turns the camera and says, "Gods and generals, don't play this game," which puts it in line with a series of reviews, a sort of running shtick that GameSpot had going at the time, wherein the worst of the worst games they reviewed would get these comedic video reviews and would include the line at the end, "Don't play this game." Famously featured in this series, the likes of Arthur's Quest, Battle for the Kingdom, which Andrew Park also was made to review, Gravity Games Bike, Street Vert Dirt, and this isn't actually technically a Don't Play This Game. It's in the spirit of a Don't Play This Game review, but it doesn't actually include the line. But the famous review by Alex Navarro for Big Rigs Over-the-Road Racing was a video produced in that house style, where the commentary and the actual criticism in the video review is kept to a minimum and is more a showcase for jokes. So you can see the history of this unofficial series in our article, badgamehallfame.com/don't-play-this-game-roundup, where we cover every game to get that label, and Gods and Generals features among those. So this put the game on the map in some capacity, not massively, not majorly. People will remember it, people who were there to see it may have a memory in the back of their head of this game not being particularly good in its capacity, featuring as part of that series, looking kind of embarrassing from the clips they show, and rightfully so. That is the correct impression to come away with. But there's another aspect to this, another thing that's honed in on in the GameSpot review, in the written review, that is to say, that is not even mentioned in the video review, and is maybe the funniest aspect of this game. An issue that Andrew takes issue with is that in a rarity for one of these budget games, there was a plan to issue an expansion pack, a multiplayer expansion pack. To quote Andrew Park from his review, "You'd hope to find some redeeming value in the multiplayer modes. Unfortunately, if you'd like to play Gods and Generals in multiplayer, you'll need to pay the developer an extra $5 for the multiplayer expansion pack, which, according to the game's official website, also includes such additional features as Union versus Confederate, and You've Got a Mission and an Enemy. Forcing you to pay additional money for multiplayer play, a feature that's become standard for most first-person shooters, might have seemed like a greedy way to cash in on a previous sale, but considering what a complete joke of a game Gods and Generals already is, it instead seems utterly insane." So the website he mentions is godsandgenerals.com, obviously long since defunct. I just saw Slam in chat post, how did they get to the telemetry data from the Civil War? Very forward-thinking developers at Anavision. They really had their finger on the fucking pulse. This is a sort of reconstructed screenshot, as best as I can reconstruct it, of the Gods and Generals website as it may have appeared in 2003. Never mind these big click here now buttons. And so yeah, you can see that they have the expansion pack at the top there. In fact, we should probably go to the website and try to read it a bit, as much as it is unreadable in its capacity as an archived website. But I wanted to at least give an impression of what it might have looked like in its glory days here, before we cut to how it appears on archive.org at this current juncture. This will happen occasionally on the Wayback Machine, where they'll fail to cache an image correctly, and they'll accidentally load some placeholder image, and that placeholder image goes on to replace other missing assets on the website. So yeah, this is unreadable. This is absolutely unparsable. Here, let me make it worse. Let me find a way to make this worse. If I refresh this, if I play my cards right, we may get a little bit of musical accompaniment here, because this is one of those pages that has an auto-playing music on it. So hopefully this time around, if it plays, it plays. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Here's how you read the website. You guys, there we go. Just to really add, to pull the whole experience, to tie it all together. So, our country was torn in half. Righteous generals led their men by the thousands into ferocious battles. One side to preserve the Union, the other to save their new Confederacy. Gods and Generals, the movie, is the historically accurate portrayal of the epic struggles in the early years of the Civil War. So on, so forth. You can check out
Congratulations,
featurettes.
you won.
Let's see that expansion pack. I want to see about this. They have monthly tournaments as well. If you the alt text for the expansion pack is monthly tournaments. They wanted to have monthly tournaments around the multiplayer mode in this game. So the expansion pack never came out. This never actually released. Basically, they had an interest check on the website where you could register for the, quote, free multiplayer expansion. At some point, they revised their $5 price tag on it, probably in the face of that sort of criticism, and deigned to make it free, which is good, because to enable multiplayer in this game, all you really would have had to have done, rather than paying the $5, was go to an INI file and see where it says multiplayer equals 0 and overwrite that with a 1, and that probably would have gotten you into the game for free. So, probably for the best that they didn't fucking make people pay for it. Can we zoom in a little bit on this? Be sure to register for the free multiplayer expansion. Software upgrade lets you play against other users. Competitive online play. Union versus Confederate. Can you stop your opponent from meeting his objectives? Includes new levels that feature multiplayer mission and objectives. New scoring system for head-to-head play. Log on for multiplayer battles. Private and public groups. Invite or challenge other members. So I'm sure that would have been fucking amazing. I'm sure it would have been a boon to this game, would have really turned around opinions on it to have had that. You know, maybe would have leveraged some of Anavision's interesting online technology they developed. Probably not. Probably hard to incorporate that into an engine that you didn't bespokely develop in the Lithtech engine. Probably would have used their multiplayer features as baked into the base engine. But we'll never know, because this, by all accounts, did not come out. What a shame. Now, there is one more bit I got to feature here. One more thing that was very funny to me. If we go backwards here. You'll notice at the top of the page, check out the latest review at GameZone.com. They're highlighting a review. Let's take a look at that review, why don't we? Let's see what the highest score that was deigned to be given to this game was. GameZone Online, your PC and video game connection. 6 out of 10. The best review they could find to highlight for this game was a 6.0 out of 10. Impressive stuff here. Reviewer Code Cowboy. North versus South, brother against brother, basic weapons and the desire to survive. Activision offers a chance to get the feel of the State of the Union 140 years ago. I have been fascinated by the Civil War since I was a child. Like millions of us in the U.S., I had ancestors that fought and died in that war. On what side? A war that pitted families against each other in an attempt to bring the states back together in one union. How would things have turned out if the Confederate position had won? This game gives you a chance to explore that option, though on a tiny personal scale. What does that mean? It's not. This game doesn't. Just to spoil it, doesn't propose what if the South won. Unlike previous Civil War games, Gods and Generals is a first-person shooter. He's right. Previous Civil War games were primarily strategy games. I think of like North and South, for example. Previous games I tried are more strategy-based and require long hours of analysis and positioning. In this one, you walk, spy, and shoot your enemy, trying to gain ground in your missions. However, don't expect Quake-type guns in this game, though I'm sure someone will offer some hacks to allow such an arsenal. No one ever did. The game allows you to use only real traditional weapons indicative of the period. That offers a unique, challenging experience. Scroll down. It was a fun and different experience. It was a nice change from the modern futuristic shooters flooding the market today. If you want a new challenge that tests more of your stealth and wit, this is a good option for you. Once you learn the pace and patience of firing weapons that are not automatic, it becomes a challenging and engaging experience. For a southern boy from VA, there we go! I appreciate the chance to get in the action from the safety of my office chair and sipping my favorite fruity beverage. I have to highlight where they say...
Fruity beverage, not a mint julep?
Yeah, I guess he's not really honoring his ancestors in the way that he should. The sounds were good. Again, there isn't the need for futuristic chaos and hype, so the mood is more quiet and subtle mostly. The music was annoying too quickly, but that can be adjusted. That's a hell of a way to say the soundtrack in this game is completely broken, cacophonous. We'll get into that, believe you me. So this being disingenuous here. Multiplayer, not available. Although I did not attempt this, Activision supposedly offers an expansion pack that allows multiplayer action as well as other new twists. Again, no due diligence being done here. They highlight the graphics. A big issue with this game that critics honed in on is that the game was horribly optimized. Is that the game barely fucking ran even with the recommended specs because Anavision didn't know how to work the Lithtech engine in the ways that would have been necessary. So... yeah, even for a 6 out of 10, this review is entirely too generous with its scoring, I would venture to say, but I can also judge from these screenshots here that they did at least make it later into the game, certainly later than the GameSpot reviewer did. I know this is like from, I think, the last level of the game, so good on them. for playing through the thing. What is this? What is this screenshot? They have it listed among the other screenshots here. I'm looking at this in real time. Is this even part of the same review? Screenshot for Gods and Generals. It looks like Guns Akimbo in this little like preview image down here. That's not in the game. That is absolutely unequivocally not in the video game we're about to play.
Did they mirror the image left to right? Did they mod in Guns Akimbo?
They hacked it. They hacked in those futuristic weapons, like
Quick.
holding two pistols. Anyway, that's just a brief look at video game websites in the early 2000s. And that will do it for our history section for Gods and Generals. Yeah, a strange one. And also one I'm going to mention here that we have played this game before on stream. I did it solo back in 2020, early days for the stream, primitive days. I think I accidentally recorded at 576p instead of 720, even though it was meant to be 720. And also my commentary isn't there. I'm not great on my own, not particularly funny. So I'm glad to get to revisit this one. I'm glad to get a second chance at this with other folk to help carry me through it, to stretcher me off the field as needed. So thank you, you two. And now we begin the process of launching the game. I'm going to warn you, right out the gate, from the very first thing you see when you try to launch this game, it is a fucking cacophony of noise. So I'm going to launch the launcher for this game, and the audience and my co-commentators will suffer for it. I'm lowering this, I'm capping the volume on this, but believe you me, this goes to 100% on your computers on Windows's volume. Peaking audio at all. So a wonderful first impression out the gate there. Can you still hear me, friends?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. That may not last long. Cherish your hearing while you can, for it is time to play the game. I'll select high detail.
I have virtual audio cables. I'll be fine. I can turn the game up. You down?
Another thing about this game, and about most Lift-Tech engine games that you might try to play in modern day, is that they are not Alt-Tab friendly. I got this running with DG Voodoo 2 to run like in an acceptable capacity and to run in a window for our purposes. But funnily enough, they mentioned in the README for this game, like the 2003 README, that you should not Alt-Tab while playing this game to go like back and forth between the game and other stuff on your desktop. Let's see what happens.
The tagline, reality is what we make it, when paired with Confederate apologia. The hell of a thing.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's see what happens if I Alt-Tab out of the game, and then Alt-Tab back in. Oh, funnily enough, sometimes the title disappears. Sometimes the title to the game disappears when you try to Alt-Tab out of it. I was hoping to replicate that. An unpredictable game, truly. Let's just go through the settings, why don't we? Yeah, sound, I'll you know what? By default, everything is like here, so we'll go with the default volume out the gate, and I'll adjust
it says the
it.
music quality's high, so I don't think you can complain, really.
I wonder how bad low would be. No, we'll keep it high. We'll give the game its best possible opportunity to impress us. Typical Lift-Tech engine finding.
Low music quality just puts on a new metal soundtrack.
That's got gamepad support. That's
Yeah, so
yeah.
all good. Game subtitles on. There are no subtitles. There's no dialogue in this game. So that's just a legacy feature in the engine that they decided to not fuck around with, not to remove. Crosshair, default settings, dynamic scaling does not work. It just makes the crosshair bigger at all times because guns in this game, spoiler, very inaccurate.
Wow, I love that second crosshair style that makes me think of the Civil War.
Yeah, it's very period authentic, and I do appreciate that historical realism, but I'm going to go with the inauthentic default experience here.
Sliders for weapon sway and head pop?
You maybe want to dial it in a bit.
I usually turn off head bob when I play video games.
Yeah, on and off, sure, maybe like 3 settings, but like a slider, I just need 5% less head bob.
Not a percentage more or less
It makes more sense to me than games I play that had difficulty sliders, as in
Oh, yeah.
100 bespoke pips of how hard you want game.
Yeah, I prefer 73% difficulty. 74 is a little bit too much. 72 is a little too easy. It's like a walk in the park at that point.
I thought that said historical bias for a second.
Truth in advertising. Let's see historical basis. Battles, gods and generals
This is
are based
it.
on real battles from the Civil War as depicted in the movie. While the details in your game missions are fictional, each is based on the historical events surrounding real battles and actual weapons that were available during the Civil War. Ooh, very cool. These are the 3 battles that the game centers around.
That's a lot more true.
That's everything you want to know and more. If you play video,
I'm not asking you to play video unless you're going to play video. But is this
scenes from the movie?
Yeah,
The scenes from the movie, straight up, as you will find here. And they do play those during the course of the campaign as well. So we'll have to skip those just to be safe. Trust me, you're not missing anything by missing out on the battles as filmed for gods and generals. Let's check out the weapons. Firearms. Musket, revolver.
Oh boy.
Muskets, until the early 1850s, infantry in the U.S. Army were issued a standard smoothbore long-barreled musket. In 1855, it was discovered that rifling the barrel, a process of machining a series of spiral grooves inside the barrel, significantly improved the accuracy of the weapon. Great, cool. Revolvers are super cool. People who use revolvers are sick as hell. Yep.
Even racist. Heard it here first.
We have some blades here. The infantry saber, the Bowie knife, which is a throwing weapon in this game, and the bayonet, which enemies can use, but you can't. So that's a fun little twist they have there. Field artillery, howitzers, field guns, fuse pouches, and case shot
those
rounds.
are primitives.
And then unusual equipment. A scoped musket, because you gotta have a sniper weapon in your game. The magnification of the scope was minimal, but it did give users the ability to pick out isolated targets at long ranges. Yeah, good luck firing something from more than, like, 50 feet away with a fucking musket. That's very unusual if anyone would even fucking try. The Ketchum grenade, available almost exclusively to the Union soldier. The Ketchum hand grenade saw limited use primarily during the latter years of the war. This is, yeah, you know, grenades could have existed in this time. Maybe did slightly.
the BFG-9.
It just fires a whole bunch of steel ball bearings in every direction. And steel body armor. Some Union officers wore steel body armor. Did they? It was thick enough to stop even the highest caliber Confederate bullets. Of course, it was necessarily quite heavy. So needless to say, they needed the shoehorn armor into this game. Because, you know, it's a feature in the engine. Because it's a feature in the Liftech engine, so we gotta put it in. So, can we find someone to say that steel plate existed back then? We can? Cool, great. Then we are historically accurate. Okay, that's enough stalling, that's enough faffing about. Very little we can do now, other than launch the game. You could read this if you wanted the backstory for the characters we're going to play as. We play as 2 characters in this game. They are interchangeable. They are not like characters in a traditional sense. They are just, at certain points you are told, you are playing for the South. Now you are playing for the North. You're playing for the South again. So just bear that in mind, I suppose. If you go getting attached too much to one character in particular, just know that they're going to come to heads. They're going to come to blows at some point. Okay.
So I just want to say there were apparently some bulletproof vests in the Civil War. They weren't good, but a few of them existed. They were not common, though.
No, certainly not. Difficulty select. This game is completely broken. There are levels in this game that are just mean, that were not designed in a traditional sense, which is to say that no one played them after making them. Playing this on the hard difficulty level sounds like a hell that I do not want to suffer.
Wait, I'm sorry. Go back to expert, down to the bottom, super spy.
You know, again, that Liftech engine, that no one lives forever too, probably a holdover from that. Though I do think they try to get you to get up to some spy stuff during this. So maybe that's intentional. Who's to say? We're going to play on normal. There's still going to be some deep hurting, but
James Bond. Jebediah Bond.
I'll go ahead and read these. at least at first. You begin in the role of Jebediah Jacobs, Confederate
Hey!
captain. There we go. Confederate captain serving under General Jackson. During the past year, General Jackson has grown to rely on you and your company to execute special missions whenever a major battle is fought. The upcoming battle at Bull Run will be no exception, but now the pressure is even higher as you learn in a letter from William Russell that you may be forced to fight against your best friend. General Jackson's main line has assembled and is resting in a defensive position at the excavation of an unfinished railroad. In front of the greater part of this old railroad are moderately thick woods. The strength and positions of the Union forces are unclear, so the general has tasked you to secretly maneuver through the woods to the top of one of those hills and survey the enemy positions. Try to get to the highest ground to get the best view. You will probably meet pockets of resistance, but remember, you must get back here with your reports. Tip: use the knives.
That's the letter from William.
We can use the knives to take out the scouts quietly. That'd be great if that was your best friend's letter. He's teaching you exactly how to, like, subterfuge his army so you can get to him quicker. All right, there's no going back once I press this button, once I press any key to continue.
I like how it's flashing like it's a click-and-play game.
Gods be with us. Dear Jebediah, my trusted friend, I sincerely hope this letter finds you well. If your battlefield experiences parallel mine, you must know how precarious a soldier's life is in this war. Such horrific battles and loss of life have never been seen by mankind. I send you the most exciting news. My dear wife Emily is with child. I know as my best friend you share my greatest joy in this blessed news. I pray to God that will end this conflict soon. However, I fear that God has refused to choose sides. I fear even more that our next meeting will be on opposite sides of the battlefield. Let us both pray that my fears are misplaced and that we meet next under happy circumstances. Your friend always, William Russell.
You know, they disagree politically, but they can still be friends. You know, it's the ideal, as everyone always says.
Oh boy.
Killer photo of grass they used.
Let's get some Bowie
I
knives.
like these little cabins.
So what time of day is it?
You know, duskish.
Dawn.
So, you may notice that there are two songs playing at the same time. That's because there's meant to be, like, a sneaking track. There's meant to be, like, a track that plays when you are not in combat, and then a track that plays while you are in combat. That is a feature of the Lithtech engine, one they apparently did not know how to properly implement, so instead just both tracks play at all times during every level. They also don't loop well, and at times will loop over themselves, to the point where they become incredibly loud.
They walk
God,
exactly like this in the movie, though, right?
I mean, this is true to life right here.
What was his plan?
His plan was to turn around and stab at me from 10 feet away with his...
Musket!
So, we got a musket here.
And a blanket roll. Take a nap.
Oh, that's a shadow. Sure.
I missed. We're going to be missing a lot in this first level until we put a point into marksmanship, which is absolutely necessary for making any of the guns in this game fucking work at all. So, funny thing, you know muskets, how they take a while to reload? You don't reload them in this game. You fire them, and then you drop it, waiting to pick up another musket. Or perhaps a sword.
I like the exclamation point at the end of all of these. I'm glad someone's excited.
It's certainly not me. You get back here.
And Union soldiers are real bad at formation, it seems.
The battle plan is chillin'.
Looting, also a Lithtech engine staple. Getting items that way.
I'm hoping that the confrontation with William will be like a one-on-one rival battle, like Ocelot at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4 or something.
You'll have to wait with bated breath.
Although now that you picked up that officer sword, maybe it'll be like Sam in Metal Gear Rising.
Oh, we got more Union incoming. Let's get another musket. You can't carry any more 54 caliber.
Cass, you're a big fan of revolvers. This is like accurate technique, right? You want to like twist your arm into your like face.
Yeah,
when you
put
fire
some
a
spin
musket
on
to
it, they
absorb the
say.
recoil.
So, To reload, quote unquote reload, you need to loot another body. Then you get your one shot, then you gotta loot another body. You cannot hold more than one in reserve. So the game becomes...
Well, I mean, imagine carrying around all those muskets. That would be, like, silly.
Now, luckily, the scoped musket is counted differently. You can still only have the one at a time, but it is a different class of weapon. Therefore, you get to carry this and the musket. Cool.
Yeah.
Orders
The
coming in
silencers-
directly from General Grant. He says, go to this field and just sort of chill. Just
I
lounge.
gotta say, the silencers on these guns are killer.
That's that Civil War tech. Unusual technology. Unusual weapons.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so let's take a quick pause here to take a look at our objectives. Really, the main objective of any level is to get from point A to point B. So these things you see here are just ways to get skill points. That every one of these side objectives you do will grant you additional skill points. We have 100 so far. We have the rank of Mexican War Veteran. We have these categories that we can invest our points in. We need a minimum of 1,000 to get anything. The first thing you need to invest in, this is my guide, this is my strategy guide, unofficial game FAQ, courtesy of me, Cassidy. If you're going to play this game for yourself, make sure the first thing you invest in is marksmanship so your guns can hit at range. This is not negotiable. You will not finish this game if your guns are not, cannot aim further out. Also, you will not gain enough skill points, even doing every single side objective in the game, to get more than one of these skills maxed out.
If you rank up, do you become a veteran of other wars too?
Yeah,
Like-
Vietnam vets, Korean War. The funniest thing to upgrade, and something that completely breaks the game at a certain point, so it is the thing that we will be pursuing in this playthrough, is carrying capacity, where it will allow you to carry more than one bullet per gun. That doesn't actually work until, like, I think the third pip of upgrading this. So, like, the first upgrade is useless. Maybe this one is useless too, and maybe it's the fourth one that lets you actually see what it's like to carry more than one musket at a time. So until that happy day.
What would you say is
What
the
I
least
like- yeah.
useful stat?
Least useful? Probably the carrying, even though it is the funniest. Yeah, I'll go through the rest of these just to go through them. Stealth, you know, this is the most useless, because you're not doing stealth in
That's
this
what I
game.
was-
Stealth is broken. Why would you even bother? Stamina is good, it just increases your health, so it's good to have a flat increase to health. Marksmanship, again, strictly necessary. Maybe it's this first tick, I don't know if you need the other ones. Armor, that will increase your armor. Repair? Sure, why not? And weapons, which makes your guns do more damage. Reduces the time it takes to reload and switch between weapons. You can't reload the guns in this game. Spoiler, there's no... I guess the Colt. I guess you can reload the revolver. I guess that's it. So yeah, again, we're going to get that point of marksmanship. Then we're going to invest in carrying. And if I have any points left over, maybe I'll give it some more health, because it is handy enough to have.
Yeah, what I like about the implication of the rank of starting rank of Mexican War Veteran is what it implies about people's skills at the beginning of the Mexican War.
Oh, we got a sniper.
It's like I actually can't carry any ammunition whatsoever. I can't even hold a gun.
You survive the Mexican War, then you learn the importance of going to a war with a gun.
Cool. Refill on ammo. That is handy.
Yeah, both he and a friend of his were on opposite sides of the conflict that time, but since they didn't have any weapons or any ability to damage each other, just like, well, this sucks.
That's a Union captain. Oh! Let's try not to die. I'm gonna backtrack and get that health. Just to be safe. Get ready for a lot of walking back and forth in this. This first level is as good as this game gets, in terms of this being like a bottle level, where the objectives are mostly clear, and you can do what needs to be done.
Now, can you shoot a musket shot randomly into the woods and get a bonus objective done of getting a woman pregnant?
Not quite. We've stolen some battle orders, some intelligence. With utmost haste, position ourselves north and east of Groveton in front of Jackson. Cannot let his scouts discern our strength. Protect supplies from reaching enemy hands. Once in position, absorb his advance, but hold portion of force in reserve. Expect reinforcements by end of the day tomorrow. Send signal reports if battle ensues. Hey, it's good for 250 skill points. I'll fucking take it. Now,
You need 1,000 to upgrade the first pit.
yes. And I know a way to get some more. There's some cannons over there. We need to destroy the ammunition stockpile and Union canyons in the area. I've played this game a few times. Not to bury the lead, but I think this is one of the funniest bad games to ever exist.
Sturdy rope.
There we go.
That can land on your
you don't
head
ever
and
just,
just get
like-
stuck, which is pretty fun.
I think I know sort of like retrieve the guy's orders and like they failed, so they just wrote their own
Oh,
orders.
Huh.
Stairs
A
back
northerner
in the day.
trap.
We haven't figured it out yet. Grenades. These will come in handy for the cannons, but first, a bonus objective. Well, you can tell it's a budget lit tech game because when they go into cutscene, they do the letterboxing, and the screen squishes as the letterboxes appear, so the aspect ratio is fucked.
I think Ketchum grenades are also called Pokeballs.
So, we're gonna do some sniping here, which requires
I noticed
every
it
time
now.
you need to do another shot, they need to put up a million rifles here that you can constantly be picking up. And every time you fire your shot, obviously it switches you to your fucking sword, so you have to keep pressing forward to switch back to the scoped musket. None of the shit's hitting because we don't have the marksmanship stat up. So this is basically just pissing in the wind here. This is basically fruitless. This objective is uniquely impossible to actually get unless you get very lucky.
Can you not like run outside and rush them down for?
I don't want to go
regular
that
shooting?
far. I think they also
mean,
go
yeah.
off screen at some point. I wonder if it counts if I kill these guys who are actually advancing on us.
You know, that positive, well, 6 out of 10 review said, I saw one of the paragraphs, the guy said, like, I fired guns like this before, and it was a pleasure. So do you think it's just like, this is exactly what it was like, actually?
This
Yeah, I
is
couldn't do
perfect. They
anything.
nailed it. I think there's been some questions
hit
in
them, don't you
chat.
realize
Would you
that?
mind reading some of the questions
Yes.
from chat, by the way, while I
Yeah.
fail that
Oh,
objective and go on to destroy the cannons?
So Anball Gang asks, does crouching affect aim at all?
It does in No One Lives Forever 2, so I have to assume that it does here, even if they don't mention it specifically.
Fat Scout asks, did this come out before or after History Channel Civil War?
Before, well before, a few years before. Those ones also Bad Game Hall of Fame worthy. Tell my wife I love her.
Oh, we
Ouch.
actually, Sid, you and I actually played a little bit of that on Games from Manhattan at one point.
Right. Oh, yeah, what a thrill. Well, you almost got him.
Yeah, so
He's trying to do the sword wave attack like Virgil.
there are certain enemies who are, well, certain ones who have really bad tan jobs. Spend a little too long in the tanning booth. Other ones whose job it is to man the cannons, which just means that they get stuck in place and swipe at you. I'll put him out of his misery. Okay.
Another sword? Does that change anything, getting more swords?
No, it's the same sword.
Good.
So these can... Oh. Music
Ah.
changed. So these cannons, you need to destroy them with the grenades, but this is a very precarious arrangement where sometimes it just won't work. You only have so many grenades, so if any of these don't do their job on the first blast, you're basically fucked on that objective. Oh, that's that fire. I'm ready. I'm ready for the fucking battle.
Is this how the movie sounded?
These are songs from the movie. Hey, we got the objective. We got the points for killing all the guys advancing from the railroads. We actually managed to. By Providence.
Pocket watch.
Just an absolute cacophony that never ends at any point throughout the game.
This is getting overwhelming. Does the songs stop between levels, or are we just going to keep adding new tracks?
It depends. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes the music from the previous level just loops on top of the level you're currently playing until it becomes completely just fucking a wall of noise. So one of our objectives is to destroy the ammunition stockpile. This is ammunition. That also appears to be ammunition. Which one? I only have so many fucking grenades here. Which one do I actually need to hit? I guess that one worked.
Nope. Uh-oh.
Is that a foghorn?
That's one way of phrasing it, I guess. That seems to like
save?
put a lot of the onus off of your death off of you.
Notice how that doesn't work. Only these ones. No mission objective indicators. Why would you need that? How many cannons are left? Just the one? I better make this shot count.
This soundtrack is bad for my ADHD.
Hey, we got it.
Obliterated, atomized.
Gather additional surveillance. I've never figured out how to complete this objective. I'm assuming there's like a note on like somewhere.
You tried asking a soldier what's up?
Yeah, have you considered having a civil discussion? I don't even know why I went to get the ammo. You don't carry over any inventory between levels for some reason. So all that's left to do is to exit this level because, again, I've never been able to complete that other objective. How many points does that give us? 1,400. Great. Do that. Awesome. And you know what else I'm going to do for the sake of my co-hosts, who I so love and respect?
Maybe for the audience.
Okay, we're just gonna... You'll hear it in the background a little bit. That's the best I can do for you sickos who want it. Who want that musical accompaniment. But I'm gonna lose my fucking mind if that continues throughout the whole game.
One of the bloodiest wars in American history? I mean, I don't know. Skill issue, I guess. Doesn't seem that bad.
So they're doing whatever. They can loot bodies for funsies. I don't know what that accomplishes for them.
Oh, are those your guys?
No. You'll see some of our guys in the next mission. Now what we need to do is find the level exit. There it was.
Of course. You can tell by the
Yeah. Hey, scenes from the movie. All right. This next mission is called Rebel Yell. General Jackson has reviewed our scouting report and planned our attack. We attack at a weak point in the Union lines. As you charge, give them the loudest rebel yell you can muster. Keep the pressure on, and their lines will collapse. Then we'll rout them on the run, drive them back to the reinforcements, and then withdraw back to the railroad. Tip: follow your orders as they appear on screen. Charge the line and keep moving while you fight. So, this is this game's version of a line battle.
Hold the line.
Hold the line.
it's more of a string, really.
Let's see what happens if I try to get ahead. Awesome. So you can't do that. Sometimes it'll just kill you with like artillery fire that you can't see or account for just to kill you. But failing that, they'll just fail you out of the mission. They'll just flunk you. All right, let's do our duty. If the smoke would abate.
Say negative consequence for shooting your own guys?
No. Here, I'll do it with a musket.
You can
in
enact a little justice then. Ah. Oh no, I'm sorry. They're really tough. That's right.
What's this guy doing? Coward.
I don't like war. I'm out of here.
We're pro-slavery? What?
I didn't sign up for this. Alright, so the only way to tell the difference between soldiers half the time is by mousing over them to see Confederate soldier, Union soldier, any other third party. Alright, now, with that done...
That guy looks like a Half-Life security guard to me.
How about that drink I owe you, Jebediah? Alright, now because we did our duty, now we can charge across this empty field. directly facing the cannons with no consequence. Because these do not actually fire anything. They are purely for... Huh?
Oh, wow.
Well, aren't you looking foolish now?
Huh. Interesting.
I'm glad that the save files say what the overall battle is and not the specific mission.
Yeah, no, it's really fucking annoying because, yeah, it doesn't tell you. Every level does have a bespoke name, this one being Rebel Yell, for example, but no indication of that from the load and save interface that you would rely on. Wow, that knife really bounced.
Maybe that guy's wearing steel plate.
Ah, that must have been it. Luckily, I got some of my own now. I'm staying in there. I'm keeping the fighting going. Maybe they need me to be closer to the center.
Oh, that's
a...
Take out the kit. And...
So this is how this game goes past a certain point. Anytime they try to do anything large scale, the game basically completely breaks down. Which is why they can't have any more soldiers than this on either side of any given conflict. Definitely, I can do these guys fairly easily. Assume I get all headshots here. Oh. Whatever, I'll leave it to my men to clean up. Hey, they actually did something. Ain't that handy, ain't that neat. Yeah, the strategy really does become... The muskets are more effective generally. I mean, you get the 6 shots with the revolver, which makes it, like, way more preferable to play with. But I think the muskets are more accurate, generally speaking, and might do more damage as well, for whatever that's worth. So that even a torso shot can count as a kill.
The cannon battery.
I wonder if there's a very specific approach they expect us to take here. I'll just bum rush it just to be safe. There? Make sure you disable those cannons. Oh, they just spawned those dudes. Those dudes came spontaneously into being.
There's certain things out here that don't seem particularly textured.
You don't say. Oh.
Oh no, that tiny wagon was destroyed. Innocent Southern boy was riding that wagon.
Going to Southern Oregon.
What I
guess is California.
What I desperately need are the Ketchum grenades, so I can actually get some work done here on disabling these cannons. Yeah, switching back to the fucking revolver. Alright, that counts. We don't actually need to destroy the cannons yet. Alright, what's our next objective? Find the sniper rifles and take out the rear cannons. Oh, baby. Tell me there's another...
rifles, plural.
Yes! There it is.
A perfect balance.
Oh, Wooter.
It's a wonder with Wooter.
Oh, I didn't know you knew how to speak Dutch, Sid.
Alright, can you guess what we're meant to do here?
Timrod's wondering if they could have just let you press E on the can to disable it. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's possible in LithTech. As for whether they could have done it, though,
It's hard to say.
I like how the sniper rifles are growing out of the ground like cattails.
You plant a seed, you plant a musket ball in the ground, and a little bit of water and love. Oh, that's my regular musket.
Pretty sure that's what the Battle of Bull Run was about, right? They need to secure this crop.
You know, it's probably something to do with, like, you know, some farm, some farmstead that they were trying to. That's what most Civil War battles are actually about, or like protecting people's land and property.
Ooh.
Look out, they're advancing.
Formation. What are they, the village people?
Luckily, we have rifles left over.
Hold the line.
Now, I'm not saying a line battle would make for a particularly exciting video game. I know because I played the Battlegrounds, the Half-Life and Half-Life 2 mod that is about, like, the Civil War, where everyone who plays it is like one of those reenactor nerds who insists that you hold the line and play the game by standing in a line and shooting at each other. So that's not super fun. I don't know how I feel about this as an alternative either. This feels like it might deviate a little bit too much from the history. to be a one-man army in this thing.
Retreat, comma, defeat the Union captain and retrieve his order. That seems like... It seems like you shouldn't be retreating if you're wanted... Okay.
Retreat, parentheses, kill Abraham Lincoln.
So there's gonna be a general around here somewhere. Probably this guy. I mean, he's dressed slightly differently. He's got slightly brighter colors going for him. So I'm gonna take that as a sign.
Incredible
Look at that posture.
I don't even have a sword. I can't battle him.
Whoa! Holy shit!
Holy shit! That's why they pay him the big bucks.
I didn't know this was a character
$5.
action game.
Oh,
Oh.
blanket.
What do you do with blanket rolls?
Nothing. So, No One Lives Forever and 2 had like joke loot, where if you fully looted a person's body, you would have a chance to get like a rare item, or you would get like a joke item. Dismantle the cannon armory. Oh, destroy the cannon ammo. So I should go back and do that. But remember, there was the objective about finding the information. You don't get it from Luna's body. You have to find it in this ultra full bright texture on the ground and find the notes. All right, so I guess they do want us to go back and destroy the cannons. Or the cannons or the cannon ammo.
What if the intel from the general's notes was just like, shoot him?
It's a good idea. Should have tried that first. All right, I'm assuming this is the cannon ammo.
Well, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Is it?
Nope. This is just scenery. Because, again, the game does not deign to tell you what is what. What interchangeable prop items they use are suddenly mission critical in a given mission, and which ones aren't. So we'll just have to go back.
Bat Scout asks, this movie was like 5 hours long, right? 4.
4.5 for the director's cut, and then
4.5.
the 3.5 for the theatrical cut. Damn, war is hell. Alright, so there's supposed to be cannon ammo here somewhere, and I really do want to get these skill points. Unfortunately, I really want these skill points, so I'm going to have to find what they constitute as cannon ammo. Part of me just wants to destroy the cannon. Oh, you know what? Maybe this counts.
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Of course.
50 skill points. I'll take it.
It looked like according to your objectives, you still hadn't... Oh, no, you did.
Yep. And now we have 2,000 skill points to play with, so we could upgrade marksmanship, but we're not. I'm going to get a head start on carrying capacity. Then maybe we'll put some points in the health. Who's to say? I think we just need to flee at this point. We just need to escape. Yeehaw! Can you spot the exit? Can you spot the exit to this level?
Can you say something nice?
Okay. Conceptually, even though I just did that bit about how line battles are boring as shit, I do think more historical conflicts deserve to get video game adaptations. It's a shame this one is tied into a bit of Confederate propaganda in a 2003 movie film, but it was a good excuse to try something like this. They may have failed, but the intention, you have to, or the idea, the core idea of a Civil War game is almost interesting. It would be really hard to make fun and engaging. It's the same thing with like World War I, right? Where most of it is trench warfare, but there have been some good games like Verdun and the other games from that developer that do like World War I from different perspectives and different like subgenres of first-person shooter. But all of them very interesting, and proof that you can like, you know, have these limited weapons, these slow-loading weapons, these long rifles, these long guns, and do something with that. This is maybe not the best example of it. Well, men, that was a valiant charge. Now, get ready. The enemy thinks they have us on the run and are sure to attack from the woods soon. We'll give them our best shot from here and then withdraw into the woods behind us. We should meet reinforcements on the other side of the woods. Then we'll turn and press the battle back to the railroad. Tip, be sure to duck when you reload. Shoot the soldiers that have reloaded. Good advice. This is a fun mission. Here, we're with our men. The only brothers we'll ever know. I did not stay in line. I took one
Deserters
step
will
to
be
the
shot
left.
immediately.
And we mean immediately. If you even think about deserting, motherfucker. We're all telepathic. It comes with being clones. Okay.
Someone's like, that meal is great, but what's for dessert? They get shot immediately.
So luckily, I can go this way, which is necessary because you run out of ammo. This section where you're meant to hold out against waves of Union soldiers goes on for a while, and eventually you do run out of revolver ammo, so it is strictly necessary to be able to jump the barrier.
That's an entire pile of body armor, isn't it?
Yes.
That's How do they carry all that? No wonder they're taking so long to retreat.
How far can I go? I don't want to push it too hard.
I'm wondering how far in any given direction counts as holding the line. Like, how far laterally can you go before it's like, nope.
I'm getting them as they spawn. As they spontaneously come into being. That musket.
I'm just imagining this from, like, the actual perspective of if this were a thing and you have an entire little squad here that is holed up, and then one soldier just jumps out from cover with a revolver. Goes like, nah, I got this.
Don't worry. All right, my CPU companions cannot shoot this guy because this is a solid object. This part of the tree is impenetrable. So I'll have to bait him out like this and then take the shot because I don't trust those CPUs.
Yeah, you know, following on from what you said about like how it wouldn't be fun, I think if the more like unfun a concept is, the better off it is being like more of a simulation. Like if you had to like rough it out in like a continuous sequence as a soldier in the war and like all your equipment degrades and everything sucks all the time, that would be more engaging, and like then it wouldn't matter that shooting guys with a gun sucks and isn't fun because it feeds in the experience.
Jesus.
But if it's just a shooter, then it's just the part that's the least fun.
Get the fuck out of here. Now we're allowed. Yeah, no, there's definitely an audience for that level of simulation.
That you were with.
No, they'll stay there. They'll hold the line. Their sacrifice will not be in vain.
Oh, and the season's changed.
So at this point, we have to retreat and help groups pinned in the woods. Retreat and help groups pinned down in the woods. Retreat and help groups pinned down in the woods. Oh, we can retreat and help some groups pinned down in the woods. Defeat the Union captain, retrieve his orders. Retreat to the Confederate stronghold. Hold back the Union attack for supporting cannons. Fall back, then press final attack. They just give you everything all at once here. Hey,
I can't believe they lost the war.
It's with strategies like this. I'm amazed that worked. Hey, there we go. Who even needs a gun? Honestly. 100 skill points, so we can get maybe 300 more just from helping the other groups pinned down in the woods. I don't know if you noticed that objective. It was one of our objectives, was to retreat and help groups pinned down in the woods.
Oh, bullet mold. That's so funny. That's a good example of them understanding the funny loot.
Yeah, no, they
Martha. It was a demoralizing day at the war. I came up against some Confederate soldiers, specifically just one in the woods, throwing knives at everybody. Took out all my friends. Don't know if we can win this, if this is what the level they're all operating at.
Yeah, they always say the Northern Army had the worst soldiers and worst generals. Until they did it and ultimately won, but you know.
He threw that knife at me like some kind of Mexican war veteran.
Let's check. Are we still a Mexican war veteran? No, we're a Civil War combat expert now. We're rising on up in the world.
We figured it all out already? Okay.
I mean, did you see us with those Bowie knives?
You still are a Mexican war veteran. That doesn't change. It's not like when you go from, like, private to corporal, like, you're not a private anymore. You're still a Mexican war veteran.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us 350 XP for that, by the way, so we're really moving on up in the world. Soon I'll get carrying level 2.
Yeah, but this is what an expert is like. Like, they can't hit a lot of shots with the guns. They can't carry a lot of ammo.
Is that expert or experience? As in, you have combat experience.
You know, we'd have to ask Anavision.
Experience.
Oh, what's this?
Oh, word.
What's this supposed to be?
What?
Sword.
It looked like a note. That looked like So, spoiler alert, you see this objective, defeat the Union captain and retrieve his orders. This one is broken. It doesn't work. They fucked up the spawn for him. And they also fucked up the part where the orders on the ground are supposed to be the orders, supposed to be like a piece of intelligence you read. And instead they put an infantry combat sword there. So when you go to pick it up, you just get the sword instead of the note you're supposed to get. So that's just one of several incompletable objectives in this game, as far as I can gather. Unless I am proven wrong. Maybe you out there in TV land will play this game for yourself and endeavor to prove me wrong.
You've heard of the pen is mightier than the sword, but have you heard the pen is literally the sword?
The paper cuts deep. Whoa. Count your blessings that we're still in the game here.
Is that for the music looping?
No, I think that's just general unoptimization. Again, this game ran at like 2 frames per second on computers of the time. With this level of detail, can you blame it?
I mean, when are we going to find the audio logs by John Hammond?
Recorded on a wax cylinder, so the audio quality is very poor, but it was cutting edge for the time, you see.
I can see the fleas in the firing line.
Oh, I saw that you completed the objective of protecting the soldiers in the forest. Did that complete all of them?
No,
Or
we
just
still
one
have
of them?
one more. 4th pocketive.
Amble Gang, are you repeatedly saying general on purpose?
It's a word. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's shit.
It's a word people use for general purposes. So
All
Now
right.
Cassidy was saying God repeatedly.
yeah.
Then that'd be out of character for me, for sure. That's where the main objective is. That's the one that forwards the... But there's a battle to be had here.
At what point in the
Also,
campaign
yeah.
do you get to play as the gods?
That's last level. It's a power fantasy, so you've got to build up to that.
Yeah, and then both you and your basically your brother, who wears blue, says like we have awoken.
Get as much shit as I can. Wish I could get some armor.
Frank asks, does this game crash easy?
If you alt-tab in and out of it, it does crash. If you do it more than twice, it crashes. That's one way to do it. I imagine you may have ran out of VRAM back in the day, back in the 2000s. Jesus. Wow, they're bombing the hell. They really hate that
Wow,
bunker.
you know, that's relatively a good effect.
I think the world is just ending.
Was that your guys who were bombing
Yeah.
your location? Come on now.
Come on now.
Oh, what the hell? I didn't know
Is
we
that
were in
the-
the occult unit. Of the
Is that the Canadian flag during wartime?
I think this is the symbol from the Blair Witch.
We don't have sticks. Muskets are kind of like sticks. They got wood in them.
I am Headful says find my pages. Yeah, but instead of the blue and red pages, the blue and gray pages.
Can I jump this? Can I advance without getting penalized for it? Hey, guys! Guys! Do your duty!
They're transfixed by the hex that's been placed on all the rifles. You had to pick up all the rifles to break the spell.
Their job is hold the line. There was nothing there about shooting or reacting.
My kingdom for some
Just had
fucking
voice acting. You
rage.
hear them saying like, "This is my line. You can't have my line."
Oh,
Don't
we
tread
held them
on my
back,
line."
apparently. Tell it to the guys who are still trying to fight, but... You know what? Let's sweep up.
I think this could use some new metal, actually.
What?
Some of them do start running away at some point, and they have a very funny animation for when they're cowering and running away. I'm hoping to see that. I'm hoping to advance the scripting of this deeply scripted encounter here. Oh.
Hey! Whoa, oh, okay, yeah, that's the bold one.
Advanced tactics. Hit and run guerrilla warfare in its infancy. There were heroes on both
Ooh, that one's
sides, you
crouching.
see. Alright, now we're charging. Now they're meant to be charging.
Fall back, aka retreat. Okay, well, I mean,
That seemed highly avoidable.
I mean, I guess it's not going to kill you. It's not. Oh well.
Well, it's killed
Not gonna kill all of them.
half of our guys who immediately walked into the fire because it was in their path. Even though, again, this whole thing was
third
scripted
faction of the of Civil War, fire.
by the gods. I guess I'll get some more body armor.
Dearest Mirabelle, get the fireplace out of our fucking house right away. I don't want to see that shit when I come home. I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone.
I've seen horrors you wouldn't believe. By the rocket's red glare. Alright, let's fall back. I don't need to see these guys continue to run into the fire, then run away from it, then run back into it before dying, before finally succumbing.
Confederates sing the. Well, actually, no. Hold on. Both sides, like the whole version with the part where they're like, also kill the slaves on the other side.
Our most advanced technique, the porcupine technique. If we all stand inside of each other and point our bayonets outwards.
Super phalanx.
You know, I thought removing the rifles would undo the spell, but I think it's actually what did it.
Hey, nearing exit.
What's
If I
that
may,
symbol?
they deign. It's supposed to be a tunnel, like a Wile E. Coyote tunnel.
It's a plantation
Hey, hold
painted
on.
over a wall.
Coward detected.
Hey, we survived Jackson's stand. That's all you can ask for.
Red Fox sign
Hey,
says the
more
things
scenes from
with
the movie.
Confederacy.
All right. Now you see the war from the Union side, playing the role of Jebediah Jacobs' best friend, William Russell. By the way, these aren't characters from the movie, in case you had any curiosity about that. You, too, have demonstrated exceptional courage and skill on the battlefield. It is now December 1862. While awaiting orders to attack at Fredericksburg, you receive a letter from your old friend. Not pictured here, the letter from her best friend. This is a different letter. Well, Captain Russell, we have the entire Union Army waiting to cross this river and crush Lee. He knew we were coming and has destroyed the bridge leading into the town. But now that our pontoons bridges have arrived, General Burnside has finally decided to attack. However, as long as rebels have control of the town, we can't possibly get the bridge built. The Confederate snipers will surely pick off every engineer and apprentice we've got. It is going to be up to you and your company to cross the river, charge the hill, and drive the rebels out of the town. Try to herd them around the town. If they retreat into the town, we'll play hell getting them out. Prepare for
like
the
how this,
absolute worst mission in this game. They get it out of the way early.
I like those quotation marks around the objective thing that says like, "Oh, you're now playing this character," like it's a quote from
It's a
not
famous quote from the
from a
movie.
person.
Dear William, my heart was overjoyed to receive your letter. It was an answer to my prayers that you remain safe as war rages around us both. Indeed, I rejoice in the news of the blessed gift your sweet wife is carrying. This child will also be blessed, having you and Emily to rear it. I had hoped that our second victory at Bull Run would convince Lincoln and his generals to confer for peace. But now, I can only pray that God himself will end this conflict, and that we will soon meet in peace over supper with Emily and your young child. I do not, however, believe God will give me the answer I seek. We have both chosen to follow our duty. And while I fear this path may lead us to oblivion, we both know our honor leaves us no choice but to follow this path, regardless of where it leads. I pray we do not meet on the battlefield in the days to come. May God bless and watch over you and your new family. Your friend, Jebediah Jacobs, Captain, Army of Northern Virginia. Okay, when this mission starts, there's going to be a lot happening all at once. I'm going to leave it to you to comment on it, to make your observations, because I need to hone the fuck in to keep from dying immediately and repeatedly here. So, wish me luck.
Good luck. All right, so I have a question, which is, is this Confederate soldier and this Union soldier sending each other letters back and forth while they're at war?
Yeah.
I feel like,
Yeah, you know.
I feel like you wouldn't be able to do that, or not allowed to do that. Like, what are you doing, Jebediah? Oh, I'm just writing a letter to my friend who's in the Union Army, charging us right now. Like, oh, go ahead.
You know, a lot of these dudes were like, you know, a lot of them were family fighting each other in the war. I think there was a certain degree of it, not to, you know, play history nerd, but I think there was a fair bit of letter exchange and like, you know, niceties between peoples on opposing sides of this war. Because, also, for what it's worth, the Northerners Union, not a lot of them gave a shit about the rights of black people, which is what the war was about, by the way. Let it not be mistaken. A lot of them were like, we're dying for these people. And it's like, yeah, both sides sucked for different reasons. But the Confederates definitely sucked way worse and way more.
It just seems to me like a thing that probably higher-ups in the militaries wouldn't allow because maybe someone would send plans to the other person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's where I need to focus in. These snipers all have scoped muskets. If you hear what sounds like paper ripping, that's a bullet whizzing past us. If it hits us, it does 36 damage, as you may have seen there. Luckily, they give us some health and armor. Unluckily, our squad here is fuck all useless. It doesn't advance past a certain point, and if they do, they walk into the fire and die, or just walk into the firing line over there and die.
Just like the movie.
Also, because we have not upgraded our damage, our weapon stat yet, our sniper shots count for less. There's snipers all along there. There's a bunch of snipers in the town. These enemies are nigh fucking impossible to deal with. Oh, accidentally holstered. Did not mean to holster. Bad time to holster.
Oh yeah, you want to holster for the thing you can do while holstered in this game, which is...
unless in case you want to disarm them with your personality, you want to get in close. They don't expect you to attack, but... So yeah, this is...
Also...
bad. Nothing I can do about that. Nothing I can do about most shit in this level.
I wanted to look it up because I found it a little odd hearing like that letter saying like that in time period letters saying you have to deal with the snipers over at the Confederate side. I was like, when did sniper become a term? And it's like apparently that's 1824. So
right.
It would have been historically accurate for someone to say a Confederate sniper.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just used to use it for more traditional weapons.
Jesus Christ, I'm getting very unlucky here.
Oh, that's it. Frank asked how the upgrade's consistent between characters.
Oh, yes, they absolutely do. Because, they don't
sure.
actually delineate internally between different characters. You know what?
In the letter that Jebediah sent William, he explained how to carry things better and how to aim better. And that's why you have that experience. Like, let me tell you what I learned in my experience on the battlefield. First of all, you should probably try to hit people.
Enclosed.
Well, he told them the carrying thing because they, since they're talking about having a child, it's like, well, in case you want to hold my child, you better be able to carry the child.
Luckily, this guy doesn't notice us. Our stealth stat is paying off dividends. I upgraded carrying. Can I carry...
Sorry,
no,
love,
we still cannot carry more than one
baby.
shot. Which is unfortunate. Because I tried to loot this guy, I don't think... Yeah, we now we just don't get the scoped rifle. So we've lost the chance to loot another rifle off of him.
Oh wait, I have a stream snack addendum. I grabbed some praline pecans. So they're pecans with a light kind of coating of sugar, basically. Okay.
I think I need to invest a point in armor or health to have a chance at this mission. I guess I'm gonna go with the health.
Health sounds like it'd be good because you'll always have health. You won't always have armor on you.
Mm-hmm. And it is a skill people actively developed and increased during war. You know how people get like healthier over wars, they fight more of it?
As I'm to understand it, having seen Gods and Generals, thereby making me an expert on the Civil War.
What was that walk animation? Do.
Shit himself.
Look at me,
It happens a
I'm a
lot.
big
It happens more often
Confederate
than you think
soldier.
in battle. It's the grim reality of war. The people shit their britches.
For that, I'd imagine. And based on the polygons, he doesn't have an ass at all, actually.
Okay. Gotta deal with these snipers first and foremost. They're giving me the most trouble. And the most actively attenuated to me. Hey, this guy, he's trying. By God, he's trying.
Yeah. Also, I mean, Johnny mentions like, oh, like with the not quite the same as our leaders ideologically. Yeah, I guess that's the point, right? Like, if you're in a northern state and you're like, I want to leak information. I mean, I guess obviously you'd have to be on that side to leak information. But if you believed in their cause, you would just join them.
Cross state lines, etc.
You really, if that mattered to you more, like,
Shit. Fuck! I was so close.
This one is just like,
I was so fucking
hope
close.
God sorts it out. It looks like God's not going to listen, but I'm going to pray to God. It's like, I mean, you got to pick one.
Did you see how fucking close I was? I was down to the last guy there. I think I got sniped by a different guy out in the distance, so maybe I wasn't as close as I wanted to believe I was. That sound effect for getting sniped sounds like it's the same exact sound effect actually for getting stabbed, hence some of the confusion. Are they really far away or super close? Can't tell by sound alone.
Is there someone in the direction he was aiming when he wasn't looking at you?
Maybe
like,
one of these guys.
Over up on the. Well, no, it was like tier, like behind where you are now, like on the other riverbank.
Look, war is hell, okay? Confusing mess. Enemies on all sides. I dare say that you too would be confused slightly on the battlefield.
Well, yeah, because those trees are blue, just like this. Really does say something that the Union soldiers are wearing a color that like didn't really show up still, and they didn't get shot all the time more than the Confederacy. Enough to win.
I'm gonna have to remind you, I think, on every reload that you need to put your points into health.
No, I feel like
undoes it.
Maybe wasn't the best move. Maybe I want to save those points. Because it doesn't make much of a difference here. All things said and done. Okay. We're thinning the line there. One of these guys should still have a scoped musket on him. I hope. You know, ideally, I did have a playthrough. Not to, in case of emergency, I do have save states for every level, and I don't invest a single skill point in any of these outside the first point of marksmanship, past like this level 2 here. So if we need to, we can always load one of these, and I can show off the full stat spread for any given stat we want to show off. So maybe we'll do that at the end. I really did want to get like cheat engine into this, and just like have it track the skill point variable. Fucking what? Anyway, I tried to cheat, but because of the alt-tab breaking, I could not successfully use cheat engine to track the stat I wanted to track. Fuck it, I'll put a point in health again.
I notice also that they're saying the danger here is the snipers, but you're getting blown up by cannon fire, which
The cannon fire doesn't actually do anything. The cannon fire is just for an effect. It is, in fact, the sniper fire that is getting us every time.
I see.
How often do you think, over in the Call of Duty offices, like how many times do you think someone there is like, all right, but what if we did a Civil War game?
And then someone just points to a monitor that is always playing this game in the background.
Yes. We are Activision, and this is our cross the bear that we publish this game. But surely someone has to have floated that idea around at some point, right? It's like, Civil War? Civil War Call of Duty?
I mean, they probably would have done a better job, for what it's worth. I mean, I'd at least be curious about that. How that would turn out in more competent hands. That shot whiffed. That one.
The reason I was thinking about it was because I was imagining this, but with all like the level up dings and guitar riffs.
Like the multiplayer ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been a dream. Like I gotta get this guy.
Wow. Okay, so then the black soldier on your side also does a rap for the credits, yeah.
Yeah. It really ties it together, the whole thing. Gets across the message they were trying to convey.
Patrick Meow says, I think the real world political stuff is way too sticky for Activision to want to touch. For Call of Duty?
The one where they went from quotes by philosophers about why war's bad to quotes by fucking John Ashcroft about how it's only bad if specific people get weapons.
Jesus.
I get what you mean, but like,
Listen, if they can
nah.
whitewash,
Nah, they don't care.
if they can whitewash the highway of death, then they can do the Civil War. Sure, fuck it.
I'll fake political comments. Like now they do, but that's because they want to shift to a character-driven narrative.
Oh, what a splendid
Which is
job they've
really
done with that
funny.
Black Ops 7.
Listen, you can't. Sid is right, because you can't use real political conflicts and also have a giant plant fight, boss fight.
Give me a musket.
What the
Give me a
fuck
musket.
was Call of Duty 7? What the
Give
fuck
me-
was Black Ops 7?
Fuck. There we go.
I remember when I saw the trailer for it and all that wacky VR shows. Obviously, I didn't recognize the main character's designs. I mean, probably knew what he looked like, but like,
Get
I
closer
saw
to
that. I
your
was
mic.
like, "What is this Control? What is this? Is this the Perfect Dark thing? Did they bring it back? Actually,
Oh, thank God. Okay, quick save. Now that I have that objective
Hey.
done. It doesn't get any easier from here. You may notice that there are still
But you
lots
secured
of
the bank.
snipers. And that you're not giving us that many scoped muskets, except for the ones that we pick up off the dead.
I think armor might have actually been better.
Yeah.
Oh, Jadario, they
Just
don't want
that.
you to do Civil War because you shoot American. Nah, they don't care about it. I mean, they're always like, oh, what a twist. Only an American's smart enough to be behind everything, actually. But you didn't see that coming.
Actually, they would have found Call of Duty would have found a way to do the Civil War, but the Russians are behind it.
Tom Clancy's Call of War.
Yeah.
Oh
Alright,
my
time
god,
to
I can't
advance.
believe Chinese Russians coming across the Mexican border, working with Afghani rebels, caused the Civil War.
How wily.
Damn, they're
are.
good. It's wild because Afghanistan hasn't even been established as a country yet. But they keep saying they're specifically from Afghanistan.
Hey, this one goes out to all the brave fighters of the Mujahideen. Like, that
This
just giving
is-
me trouble still.
This is just kind of related to that. I know it's not related to the game we're playing, but I've been playing through pretty much most of the Ace Combat series recently, like back to back to back. And it's only now that I realize that every single game is just, oh, the Belkans did it again. It is just like the Tom Clancy, the Russians did it equivalent of fake Germany did it for every single conflict in the entire world.
Hey, now, in 4 it wasn't the Balkans.
So, you may not be able to see it from where we are. I'm going to scope this out. Snipers posted at every one of these buildings in the background has 2 snipers on it. There's also a wall of snipers over there and more houses to the right. We are facing down like 30 plus fucking snipers at this juncture, in this point in the fucking level. Spoiler, there's not enough ammo to go around, even killing them, because the ones that are like higher up that you can't loot the ammo off of. So we're gonna really have to fucking make do here. There's our rifles. We got a few over here too.
Rifles.
Yeah. Also, Johnny mentions like, oh, games cover World War II because you can gloss over the humanity of enemy forces, the foot soldiers. Yeah, that's true. I mean, people did it with the Nazis, but they should have also been comfortable doing it with Confederate soldiers.
Yeah, in case it needs to be said, by the way, in case we haven't said it during the stream, fuck the Confederacy. It was literally a war about slavery, and anyone who tells you otherwise is a disingenuous fucking loser, idiot, racist piece of shit. It's exclusively a war about slavery. States' rights is moron talk, is revisionist history bullshit. And Gods and Generals is one of the most repulsive movies of all time for the fact it tries to erase that fact and whitewash that fact completely. One of many
Like I
reasons to
said-
hate it.
I said at the top that people who still rock the Confederate flag are like losers who never got over it.
Yeah, I mean, the funniest thing is like weirdest example of like a delayed Streisand effect with like when they're tearing down all those Confederate statues that weren't even contemporary with the Civil War. Was that when people went to like check the records, it was even more about slavery than I even understood it to be when I learned about the Civil War, where it's just like, no, they wanted to spread into South America and up and then go back around the world and do slavery everywhere. They really want to do slavery.
I'm doing what I can with
states'
these
rights. It's
rifles.
like you can't do states' rights when you have an
Jesus!
international goal.
Jesus Christ.
So that's what I was trying to curb, was that wall of snipers who the second you step out from cover, all hone in on you immediately.
Well, you got a little hint there, Cass. It says you were killed. So...
I see. I gotta blow my nose because I'm getting super congested. I'm still sick, folks. So you to carry on conversation for a second.
Is like that one thing in which Stalker expansion am I thinking of, where there is basically just this, where there's a place you need to go up and you'll just get shot immediately for sticking your head out.
Stalker expansion.
Every hardcore mod, yeah. Well, I guess they didn't really have expansions, but yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean. The
Yeah.
standalone extra games they did.
Oh, Anomaly?
No,
No,
I'm not sure what you're talking
Clear
about.
Skies and
Oh, okay, just
Sounds like Clear
it's a
Sky.
sequel. That's a
Yeah. The one I remember the least about, despite it still being okay.
yeah.
Clear Skies,
Main
whatever
complaint
the
I
other one
remember
was. One of them had a scene like this, where it was a big field. You needed to get to the other side, and if you just stuck your head out, you were dead.
I'm guessing Clear Sky because if it was in Call of Pripyat, then like I think people would have brought it up more. Whereas like Clear Sky, people apparently like based on some videos I've seen, they actually talked it up so much that now it's overstated how much stronger the enemies are than you in that game. It is true, but it's not as true.
Fuck.
It's the inverse of how people talk about slavery.
I've never considered those games to be like the sequels. I always just thought of them as like standalone expansions,
That's probably
which I guess
fair.
is kind of a sequel, but in my mind, it's just like wasn't far enough for me to actually consider it like this is the next game of the series.
They do make sweeping changes to the gameplay in each of them. Like Clear Sky being like more about the faction war that the original Stalker Shadow Chernobyl was sold on. But alas, we're talking about games that are equally janky, but way better ultimately told than the game we're playing right now.
Now, what if this game had blowouts, where if you were standing outside, you would just like die?
I mean, that's happening
playing
right now,
Crash
isn't it? It's
I also appreciate how, because the reloading animations aren't like that detailed when you zoom in on guys, it looks like they're just kind of jerking their guns off. Which is,
This is my
like what that
rifle.
reviewer was doing.
Okay. Oh shit, there's still snipers over there.
Getting shredded.
Oh. Hey, we can see our guy though. We had an out-of-body experience there.
Right, just would have been in a sequence of revolting games with DMC and now this.
Do you have any thoughts on DMC
actually-
Devil May Cry, by the way, Sid, since you weren't on that playthrough?
I mean, a lot. I did listen to y'all's final thoughts though, and like you about covered it. You know, like I'd say. Though I guess if anyone thought that perhaps the that first DMC anime, not the most recent one, but the Madhouse animated one that came out before DMC 4 did. In case you're like, oh, maybe that's good. No, it's also bad.
Sounds about right.
Like not in the same way, but it's mostly pretty boring.
Well, you know, we got another episode of DMC, the playthrough, coming up on this coming Tuesday when we do Virgil's Downfall. So it ain't over yet.
True.
We're arguably going to take away any part of that where we're like, well, the gameplay's okay sometimes. And we're doing away with that bit.
Okay, gotta take care of these guys.
Oh, all in a row.
Did you get two at once?
No, that's not possible, unfortunately.
Oh. Thought I saw
I mean,
him
I guess,
foil.
yeah. I will say about games like DMC is like, whenever people are like, oh, it's like, if it wasn't DMC, it'd be better. It's like, I mean, it wouldn't exist though. Like, that sort of like proviso to like, oh, well, you know, if you consider from this angle, it's sorry to say, it's like that whole thing. It's like, well, if things were completely different, then my argument would be correct. Just like Ninja Theory's not making a game like that flat out unless they get to call it Devil May Cry. The indication is they made other games that didn't play like Devil May Cry. And they could have if they wanted to, because people seem to like their other games, even the ones that were pretty bad.
This is so
We got a
tough.
comment on that video asking if we were going to play Hellblade. The answer is no.
I do think it's very funny that Hellblade 2 pretty much dropped like all the mental health stuff from its advertising.
There's so many objectives to do over there that are going to get us so many skill points, but I'm about to give up on it for the sake of the show and just accept that this level is among the worst in first-person shooter history. So rarely do developers fail to understand the circumstances they have imposed on players, as is highlighted in this level. This is so just fundamentally unfair. Your squad can't come with you. There's no one else to draw fire. Every enemy in this level, and there are hundreds of them, are all just looking at you and waiting for you to step out of cover so they can shoot you. There's nothing you can really do to dodge them. You can go back and try to get health, but chances are you'll get shredded on the way back.
Yeah, you made it.
And just lose half the health. You know what I mean? I had no chance of killing because of ammo shortages, because of just the precarious position that I occupy here.
Yeah, there's a degree of like badness in games that's sort of like, oh, they thought people would like this and they were very wrong, whereas this is they didn't. Like it's designed under assumptions about the game that just aren't even true.
Okay, I know there's some items in there. I need to not get shot even once as I bust into this place. Okay, maybe I can get shot once. Small miracles. Okay. Bodies do eventually disappear and the loot with them. One of these bodies is going to have an item on it, a key item that I need to complete a side objective. Also, don't you love the lighting inside this place? How the lights activate when I kill them and not a moment sooner? A key to open a door.
You know, from the title? Why is it so much higher quality than the rest of the wall?
Why is it so thin?
Why can't I?
Yeah, well, you know. Jesus Christ.
I hope it opens the other way.
Oh,
Okay,
of
good.
course.
Convenient.
Classic to the era.
Whew. Well, at least we got the good stuff. At least we got the major objective for this level.
You want to drop a quick save here?
Yes, I do. Okay, no scoped
There's
rifles
still a
on
guy
us.
to your right.
Yes, there is.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, now for the hard part. Retrieve the grenades, destroy Confederate cannons. Alright, that's it for scoped rifles. That's it for scoped muskets. Even if we had a bunch, there's just too many people there. There is a line of people behind the cannons. Luckily, none of them shoot. It's just the snipers in the houses we have to worry about. So what I have to do here is grab grenades right there, run up to those cannons, and blow each of the cannons up individually, and then run the fuck away. Let's do it.
I love this throwing technique. This is a secret northern ninjutsu technique.
I need more grenades. They seem nonplussed by it.
Like a ticket-based thing where you'd expected to die, or like, what was it? Battlefield 1, the tutorial had you just like, you know, quantum leap into other people as your guy got killed. Actually, and Battlefield 2 Modern Combat on PS2, you could like do that on command.
Retrieve the grenades. Are they gonna fuck me on points for not? Unless those are grenades too. Also, look at the great splash damage on these weapons. By which I mean they're completely broken for and everything, including destroying the cannons. But
well, they're for destroying just individual cannons. They weren't made to hit multiple people or cannons, so you can't do that.
I'm trying to see if there's any other grenades I could potentially pick up. You know what? Fuck it. Let's get the fuck out of here if it lets us.
Good luck. Most.
Never get shot again, and you got it.
All right.
Is this just the end of the level? Not quite.
Great.
Oh, that was your one shot.
Is there still health there? Did I leave a health kit behind?
I don't believe so.
Wow. Oh,
I did.
Well,
but
actually, never mind. On one
luckily,
hand,
we
you
have the
did.
quick save here for me having mostly complete. Yeah, I think I completed that objective. All right. We won't get the points for retrieving the grenades, but I know the exit. I just happen to know from experience the exit level's over here. It's one of these houses.
Or it's the general area of that house.
While you're still in the firing line of multiple guys, yeah.
You know, before we get to this mission, let's take a look at one of these houses. So, even though I won, I'm going back in. I just can't get enough. Let's see these houses they're working so hard to defend.
Well, you know, this times were tough. But you had to,
Oh my
you had to
God.
put up the image of strength.
This is blindingly bright, this brick over here.
Dayglow brick.
Let's see. Can we make it to the exit by through here? This might actually be a great way to do it. This might be a good way to dodge their fire since they seem incapable of shooting like below the balconies. You're only meant to shoot in that direction, so this is really throwing them off. Nearing
So
exit.
you've gone behind the exit. Because the exit exists in the middle of that field, I think.
And you got shot.
It's the end of that road. It's where that road ends. Just in the middle of the... Good God. You are again playing the role of Jebediah Jacobs, captain of the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia. It is now April 1863. As you march towards Chancellorsville, you receive another letter from your old friend, William Russell. That was it. That was the Northern level.
For now.
That's about the ratio of Confederate scenes to Northern scenes, the Union scenes, as seen in Gods and Generals, the movie. So, great. I'm glad we got that equality in there. I'm glad we split it 50-50, right? Well, men, it looks like General Jackson was right again. We've moved our whole force around General Howard's flank, and he has no idea we're here. Word is that the Union boys are in the middle of cooking their supper. You've been ordered to get ahead of the troops and identify any strong points in their perimeter. Try to collect any intelligence as well. You'll likely come upon Union scouts as you move into position. Make sure you don't spoil the surprise attack. You will find a Confederate scout waiting for you on the other side of the field with additional mission information. All right. Don't use any firearms or you'll expose your position. Be sure to retrieve your Bowie knife with each use. This is a stealth mission titled Silent Approach. Dear Jebediah, Christmas and the ensuing winter have come and gone, and still the war continues. I am now the proud father of a fine son. While I have not been able to return home to see him, I've instructed Emily via letter to name him Jebediah. After the man who really fathered him. I inserted that. Only by the grace of God did I survive the debacle at Fredericksburg. I felt we had the upper hand, but we were again out-generaled by Lee and Jackson. Our generals are faint of heart, and I am now convinced this war will be the end for thousands of fine men. It will be my end as well. I pray that the same fate will not befall you. As my truest friend, if this war does take my life, I place my family in your charge and their well-being in your care. You must survive this war. Young Jebediah's future may very well depend on you. God bless and protect you, William. Welcome to Stealth. Welcome to these big green fields.
Glitter.
Look at our
Wow,
objectives.
it's very green.
Find the knives, disrupt Union communication scout, find and retrieve Morse code message, identify location of artillery batteries, get the gunner's fuses, find the telegrapher, and send back intelligence data. This level is probably not as big as the previous level, but it feels bigger because it's all open space with nothing fucking happening.
Oh, there's the knives. Alright, well, stealth, so. Luckily, you didn't fire a gun, so they still don't know anything's happening. Like,
Oh, by the
it's a
way,
classic.
It's just bullshit. Nothing happens. You can use guns at your leisure.
Well, that's because you fired a Union musket, and everyone heard that. It's like, what was that noise? Oh, that was just one of our muskets.
So we have to go around the map finding all these cannons, find the cannon locations, so we can report that back, ostensibly. God forbid we just sabotage them and take care of the business now, but...
Yeah.
How's the
enough
music
points
doing
to
in this game, by the way? Let's just take a quick check-in on... Yeah, that's about right. It's...
you have enough points to invest in anything?
I might very well.
Oh, wow, yeah.
4,000. I can get us to carrying level. Yeah. I think the 4th level, yeah, is where I start to be able to carry more than 1 bullet per musket, which something very funny happens when we do that. So that'll be the last point I invest in that. Even though it's even funnier at level 5 for it, but maybe I can just load my hard save at the end with maximum skill point allocation, and we'll see what that looks like.
What the?
That's a Morse code
Morse
machine.
code.
Yeah. How it's still operating after killing the guy is beyond me.
Oh, it's operating by telephone wire. Yeah, they got Wi-Fi hooked up to that Morse code machine to transmit information.
How's the signal out here? I don't see any satellites. I don't see any antennae.
Oh, they're using satellite.
Cool. I'm glad I came all the way over here for that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a cannon, all right.
Couldn't do that with a pair of
Oh,
binoculars.
look at the texture on that rock.
Oh.
That's a PS1 texture.
Oh, speaking of texture.
War is hell. So, thoughts on this game so far? Do you have any that you want to get off your chest? You want to share? How are we feeling about this one?
It's interesting for us to play a simulation for once. On
Yeah, you know, we don't get to show off, you know, like hardcore realism simulations that much on the show. There's not that many bad ones. But finally.
Was this a Walmart exclusive? Because it feels like it'd be a Walmart exclusive.
I said earlier, I remember seeing it at a Staples, so.
Okay.
All right, there's the end of the mission.
Ambitious.
If we need to end the mission, we can go there, but not till I finish every damn objective I can.
I'm sure his further intel is I need you to look at more stuff.
How come these guys get 2 rifles? How come their moms let them have 2 rifles?
Oh, this is the ultimate technique. This is part of the intelligence gathering. I like how they looked at each other first. Like, I can't believe you killed him.
Let's see what the sword does.
Surely.
Cool. It's absolutely worth it to use this piece of shit.
Fedor's infamously totally unsharpened sabers. But, you know, they were more ceremonial, right? You know, they weren't meant for.
No,
all the ones everyone in the
every
entire
battle
field was carrying.
Every Civil War battle ultimately devolves into bayonets, into give them the bayonet, to quote General Lee.
Oh, sure, the bayonet obviously, but obviously none of the sabers. No one ever used them. Oh, he's surrendering?
At least he died doing what he loved.
Oh.
The Joker toxin took hold of him in the last seconds. I coated my bullet in it. Am I not going to get credit for... whatever.
Is that Morse code just saying ha 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 ha?
Oh.
This is the Morse code for damage.
All right, see this shrubbery back here?
iPad says Apex Twin.
Now, this is how you know I'm a
course.
true sicko, that I've done the work replaying and replaying this game, because only a fucking idiot like me would explore every inch of this map to find this fucking guy and get the bonus objectives in this mission. I remember the first time I found this motherfucker after wandering around this map for hours, I was so pissed that it was hidden behind this. Cool tree. There's a bunch of invisible walls here, too, so it's very hard to get out. Yep.
Oh. Inventory.
Yeah, these don't actually work. The intelligence items, and no one lives forever. You could actually read those sorts of notes and, like, you know, be able to reference them. What but briefly appeared on screen was the fact that our Confederate contact is between 2 oak trees.
Oh, helps.
Between 2 ferns.
Might be the last cannon. God willing.
Yes, it is, apparently.
Not the last, though, because we haven't completed that objective yet. Oh, no.
Man,
Get the gunner's
wagons are
fuses.
so
Okay, so we
fucked.
did find the cannons. There's got to be fuses somewhere here.
Looked at this entire map for a piece of string.
It must have been... Oh, I know where it was. I gotta go back. What was the other objective? Disrupt the communication scout. Oh, there is one more. Okay. Alright, just gotta nail this guy. And then we'll get the credit. I was wondering why it didn't complete after the other guy we killed who was sending telegraphs. But it's because there was one more, obviously. Don't fire till you see the whites of his LOD.
I need you to go up to his model. The ground again.
Oh, nope. Oh God.
He is kinda.
Yeah, the mustache.
He's giving a
makes
thumbs
it a
up
little-
too.
Oh God, what's wrong with his hand? Look, he's just left it. What?
We
What
call
on
him
earth?
Big Hand Jim. He sends the
He's-
fastest telegrams in the land. He's a bit heavy-handed, but...
That's what happens when you jerk off too much.
There's nothing else to do up in the Morse code tower.
And no prying eyes. It's just you, God, and the morning sky.
Jerk to the pace of the Morse code challenge.
Dearest Annabeth, I fear God has abandoned me due to me jerking off nonstop in the Morse code tower. I don't return home. Understand that I deserve my fate.
Cut off my hand before they put me in the coffin. I don't want nobody at my wake seeing what's become of me.
My hand is going to hell, and I don't want it to drag the rest of me down with it.
Heavy is the hand that weighs the burden. Alright, remember that...
That's what I call my junk.
I think it's this set of cannons here that's got to have the fuses. If not, then, fuck me. Maybe one of these guys has the fuses.
Seems pretty happy too, actually. Certain angle.
Do you think these are developers?
Oh!
Do you think they're
Hey.
photos of the developers on their faces? For their
It could very
faces?
well be.
They're all Michigan.
All right, we need photos for the game. I need you to smile. Just act like you're a soldier in the Confederacy. All right, smile.
We got points for days. I think I want to take
carrying.
this next
Prime says
carrying
this,
to the next
like
mission.
a game she'd get on Game Jolt, and I'm just like, oh man. Imagine if they'd done this in the X-Ops engine instead.
Oh, that would be so sick, though. Tell me you wouldn't
They did this in
play
F-
the X-Ops Civil War mod. Also, look at the difference between level 4 and level 5. We got 275% ammo capacity, 400% carrying,
Oh my god!
400 over 1,000. By the way, this stat completely useless. Because, remember, no one lives forever, the game this is based off of. You can pick up bodies to move them out of the way so they don't get detected during stealth. Why would you do that here? Can you even do that here? You cannot.
No Dunning-Kruger levels of math being performed here.
Good work. Dino Gem awarded. You made it through the field without revealing the surprise attack. Our scout has determined that the best route into the camp is through a dry creek bed. It's pretty deep and provides good cover from Union scouts. Follow the creek bed and it will lead you to the edge of the Union camp. It's the best route available, but you may encounter Union soldiers. Try your best to avoid pistol and musket skirmishes as the area is crawling with Union soldiers. Follow the creek until it ends near camp. Alright, I think I could do that.
Union camp with Union soldiers.
Take a look at our objectives. Avoid early detection. Spoiler alert, you can't fail this one. Defeat the Union soldiers, just the one. Steal the Union body armor. Take out the Union soldiers. Quickly take out the Union snipers and charge into the camp. Not necessarily in that order. It's another one of those missions where you can wander around trying to find the side objectives, or you can just trust that I've done the work already. It is good to be able to carry 5 of these fucking things, I guess.
Or you could have stabbed him. But, you know, whatever works.
With
I mean,
what,
if I
the
tried to use a
unsharpened
saber, no, I
saber?
could not stab him. It would not work.
I meant with the Bowie knife instead of having to do all
Throw
that
it.
fancy shit. Yeah.
Well, you can't. There's no alt fire on these weapons. So,
You can't do a charge blast of your musket.
yeah, if I just keep holding it down, I just keep pouring more black powder into it, and eventually it explodes in your face. All right, fight
Here
the
he
Union
is.
soldier.
It's the Union soldier.
Use your knife and steal the Union body armor. I don't know
Don't
why
gotta
they
peel it
specify
off
use
of
your
him.
knife. You don't peel it off of him. It's you don't get the armor there. The armor is lying around somewhere over here, and you just pick it up off the ground. So,
You skin Union soldiers like it's a Monster Hunter.
oh, by the way, the snipers have found us. We are being shot at by snipers at this point. Not that it fucking matters.
Yeah, but well, it's actually the perfect time to be detected, though. It's not early.
I think he was pissing. I think we caught him pissing. All right, there's a sniper. Where's that
Only
damn body
one
armor?
bullet. That musket.
Yeah, well, he actually also would have had a big hand if you checked, but it was from pissing so much.
The armor here.
In modern times, he would have been a great person to post on the High Octane Nightmare Fuel page for TV tropes.
I wonder what TV tropes pages this game does fall under. What it does qualify as.
A crowning moment of badass for everything that the South does.
A pro-Confederate user on TV tropes.
What? Okay.
So I have full armor.
Well, you just get shot.
Yeah, that's what I have to do if I want to be able to complete that objective. Thank you! Fucking brilliant game design right there, boy howdy. Punishing you for successfully stealthing. What do you mean you have full armor? You're supposed to fail stealth, get into those fights. We planned this whole thing, and these dastardly players... I guess he's not coming down
Is
to
that his
greet us.
blood flying off of him?
May very well have been. Still another sniper around that we'll have to worry about. Oh,
Just so
there
you
he
know, on the TV tropes page for Gods and Generals, the movie, one of the tropes is Leroy Jenkins.
is. I guess because there's like the group of young soldiers who charge before they're supposed to.
I think so, yes.
Right.
Great.
Be ready to kill any of our own men.
That's a little bit pleased with himself, ain't ya? And rightly so. Rightly.
I'll fight him on his terms.
Okay. Oh, he's doing Stinger from DMC. Yeah.
All right, I'm not going to fight him on his terms because he's shredding the shit out of me. Don't mind me. Fuck!
Oh, I guess he did.
Jesus. Oh, no one's minded you more in your life.
I got too cute with it. That's on me. I have to do that mission from the top. I didn't think to quick save during that. I didn't think I would have to. Whoops.
You'd be ready to be pre-shot for picking up that armor?
Yeah, that'll save us some time. That's literally taking damage to save time. Right there. Boy, howdy. Good.
The separate qualification for when the game's not worth your time, say taking damage to waste time.
Like some of our knives. I wish there was a stat to improve move speed in this game. That would be nice. But they don't have that in No One Lives Forever either, even though that game, No One Lives Forever 2 in particular, which desperately needed.
Yeah, I think I asked that question when we played No One Lives Forever on Casual Monday.
That's a preview for this, of course.
Alright. What musket do we have? This one? Hopefully this will be enough to take out the sniper. Alright.
Like with the way you select holster, it should also somehow be a weapon.
The deadliest weapon of them all. Our fists. Wait, huh?
What? Uh-oh.
Huh? I didn't get the points for it?
Maybe you also need to grab that other body armor you got the last time.
Maybe when you killed that soldier, he gave you permission with his dying breath, and thus it's not stealing it. What?
Whoa, this guy's good.
Oh, I got the points for retrieving the Union body armor.
What?
After the fact. Because of the wonderful scripting in this game.
You have 2 musket shots now.
Yes, that's okay, perfect. All right. So are you ready to see the reload animation for the muskets?
All right, do it.
There's none.
Damn, they're good.
You just get to fire 2 shots before you put it away, or however many shots. If you get the max upgrade, you get 3 shots. So you get to do 1, 2, 3. But
The genius
no
of the
wonder it took
battlefield, Jebediah pioneered the art of just sticking 2 pellets into the musket rifle at the same time.
So that'll piss off the historical nerds in the audience. That'll piss off the people who came to this game being like, I expected an authentico Civil War experience, and now you got this double-loaded. I had no problems with the presentation, the gameplay, or any other aspect of this game until they beleaguered believability, sir.
Yeah, do you think that 6 out of 10 would have lowered it more if they'd known about that feature?
Perhaps. All right, take out the Union snipers. I already did. I killed both of them. Is there a third one? There must be a third one if I still have that objective. And yes, if this guy has a scoped rifle, yes, you can see that it also works for the sniper rifle. And if you combine those with the standard muskets you get, I can have a grand total of 4 musket shots on me. Very handy.
You're basically John Wick at this point.
A Civil War John Wick. Didn't they just announce a John Wick video game today?
Yeah. Yeah,
That,
Saber
yeah.
Interactive. And
Oh, it's gonna be
actually
fucking
collaborating
trash
with
then. What the fuck? Why are they still
Yeah.
getting fucking contracts?
Well, they're working with Chad Stahelski, so that's something. I don't know what he can do to counter Saber Interactive, but you never know. Maybe he actually has the sauce for game design.
Also, I think we did kill all the snipers, so I think we got that objective. We just gotta head towards the exit now. Having avoided early detection, you head towards this.
Jesus Christ.
So,
I know, like, the billboard trees are common, but ooh.
a thing I just looked up was the fact that apparently there were 2-shot muskets that had, like, 2 hammers on them. So,
and 2
one would
barrels.
fire for...
Yeah.
The thing is that they were only supposed to fire 1 at a time.
But they
according to this.
constantly chain fired because the fuse situation was probably not great. So what you get is both of them deploying at the same time more
Right,
often than
which
not.
would destroy the gun.
Yes.
I'm guessing Cassie did also research to further emphasize why.
This is the best
revolvers
scene in the
are
movie,
better.
by the way. It's the only interestingly shot scene as they go up the hill and they're trying to be quiet. So you see them all like running and waving the flags, but also being deathly quiet while doing it until they reach the crest of the hill. That was one good scene in that
Saying,
movie.
"Let the bodies hit the..."
Supper time surprise. You made it just in time. Our troops are crossing the field now and will be hitting the camp in seconds. I surveyed the camp, and as General Jackson suspected, these boys are very well supplied with many wagons loaded with ammunition and supplies. They'll be heavily guarded, but don't let them get away. Indeed, we have the advantage of surprise in numbers, so we shouldn't let any blue coat escape. We need to move out now. I'll meet you on the other side of camp on the road to Chancellorsville. Let's go! Tip, use the old chimney as cover to take out resistance. So this is a mission where we get to kill a bunch of unarmed soldiers, where we just murder in cold blood with the element of surprise. And if we're quips...
Wow, Civil War postal.
The Southern gentleman.
I like the idea of writing a letter says like, we'll hit their camp in seconds. Now the first time, all right, we're hitting their camp now, by the way. Che Guevara.
I was going to ask one of them for a light, but... All right. We're in it now. Gotta take out the ones with guns first. There's an objective tied to these guys. Ooh, sick
Quick
roll,
spin
dude.
attack.
All right, good. We gotta move quick here. There's something cool to see. Did you see that horse?
Oh wait,
A horse I can't see. But...
I saw a wagon.
You know, let's redo this. I really would like to show that off, if I can. All right. I should grab that ammo if I have the time for it. No surrender.
34?
Your scoped rifle, sir? Now this is a strategy. I can just keep picking up ammo off of their bodies to keep this weapon replenished. Fuck. I miscalculated. I forgot how many of them have scoped muskets versus how many don't. All right, perfect. We stopped it. Okay, so there's a stopping the wagon objective. Stopping. They missed a P there. But if you're lucky enough to do that, the horse will stop in its tracks over there. And we can get a close-up look at the horse that we just stopped. The wagon we just stopped. Boy. I should probably take care of these guys first.
Defend our horse!
We paid good money for it.
All of our efforts depend on this horse.
Like the Roblox one?
What was that about Roblox?
I don't know. I thought I heard the Roblox. I think it's actually a bullet ricochet, but it sounded like the oof for a second.
Please, the Tommy Tallarico. Oof.
Of course.
Phew.
Joey Kura's Terminator oof. I'm just gonna make it
All
wrong
right.
in a different way.
Let's see our prize.
Oh, baby!
So this was meant to be seen at a distance. Obviously.
Oh,
Otherwise, you might notice that's some wood texture.
there's some very tiny soldiers hiding in there, waiting to be delivered as a gift.
I
Incredible.
believe that guy's son is in there, actually.
Now, if you happen to miss that, if you do miss out on the opportunity to stop that horse, you can just look through here, where they also have some more wooden horses. So I think that's a nice touch. I think it's a fun touch in the level to have that. So I'm glad I did that. I got lucky with that. That's actually very hard to do. You have to move very fast at the top of the level. Having the upgrades helps.
Let me just update the Gods and Generals game page on TV Tropes for High Octane Nightmare Fuel.
By the way, you were talking about the John Wick game that got announced. That someone just shared with me, like, the trailer for it. I'm not watching it because it's doing a show. But
Yeah.
apparently the trailer for it is just titled Untitled John Wick Game, which really makes me hope that it's going to be an Untitled Goose Game, but with John Wick.
Wow, great shadow cast. That's what it would look like in real life.
Yes, they're nice.
That thing ricochets off and just flies into the air. Like,
I'm stuck.
Uh-oh.
Wait.
You can do it, I believe.
you got it. You got it.
Classic Union trap.
All right. So there are objectives to, like, stop the soldiers from fleeing, arming, and resisting, and check in the camp for stragglers. They really want you to kill everyone you can. And even then,
Bonus
sometimes
points for
the
war
mission...
crimes.
Even then, sometimes the game fails to recognize that you've killed every enemy in the map. Because there's some of the ones at the top who run away, right? And because they go off-screen, there's no way to get them. But I'll do my damnedest here, because I want those damn skill points.
Low in health.
Red Fox says John Wick giving a coin to a goose and getting a silenced SMG. If you haven't seen Monkey Man, then good. There's actually kind of something like that in that movie.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Monkey Bone.
No.
Alright, fuck it. That guy's resilient to bullets, I guess. Luckily, I have this technique now. That way I don't have to constantly auto-switch weapon, which there's no way to disable, by the way. There's no way to disable the auto-switch. But this does make the game so much easier and so much quicker when you can just play it like I was playing it there. Until you miss a shot, in which case you're just, like, fucked. Oh, fire damage. I don't want to pull a golem here.
Yeah.
Shit.
You know,
Now all your dead Confederate comrades are looking at you walking the fire like, not so easy, is it?
you think those campfires are like a form of defenses?
They'll never make it past this. Okay.
That's good.
Stragglers.
I like how collecting ammunition isn't exciting for your character, though. Like, the guns, sure. And the weapons, the swords, but...
You're just talking about the
Deciding you can't carry
punctuation.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. Which ones have exclamation points and which ones don't.
Medville asks if the enemies reloading makes them invincible.
No, it does not. You can absolutely kill them during reload animations. I mean, I think I killed everyone I can... Wait, hold on. Charge.
I got this.
If only I could use my bayonet.
Don't fire until you can stick your gun to the whites of their eyes.
Oh my god, that guy tanked 2 headshots. Yes! Alright, there we go. I think that's it, actually. I don't even know why I'm looting. I think that's every enemy in this level.
And I think you have enough to upgrade something if you want to put more into armor.
Trusted Civil War veteran. The hell of a rank.
Oh, so you had survived to be a source for this game, so historical accuracy.
I'm going to keep those points. I'm going to wait till I get 5,000.
Oh, you want more carrying?
I think I might just go whole hog. I'm not too worried about dying too much at this point. We made it past the toughest level. Spoiler, the next level is also a turkey shoot, where you just charge into a camp of mostly defenseless soldiers, and mow them down. Does this do anything? No. Also, why do I only have the 1 grenade?
Wait, yeah. You wanna save your points for when you get to replay on a higher difficulty like Jebba Must Die.
I wish you could do new game plus this. That was a good pun, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mean to bury your pun, but this would be fun to be able to max everything out in the course of a playthrough, or like to replay the game from the top with the points you already have. That would be fun. That would be an improvement. Camp clearing. Him. Well, all hell is breaking loose now. I know you have orders to find intelligence to take out their communications, but the colonel says we're running out into some strong resistance from a battery of Union cannons to the east. They're firing cannons back into the camp to keep us from chasing them down the turnpike. We've got to take out those cannons so our boys can take this battle straight to the Chancellorsville house. We've moved so fast, we've outrun our own artillery, so we don't have enough firepower. You're our only hope of taking them out quickly. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you'll just have to find a way. Tip, be sure to search tents for additional weapons. All right. Take a look at the objectives. Communications, secure intelligence papers, find and free Confederate POWs, dismantle cannon armory, stop soldiers from fleeing, arming and resisting, clear camp of all stragglers. Okay. I could probably do all that. I mean, we're the one-man army. Oh.
But what can one man do against an entire army? It's impossible.
I love when they shoot, the earth darkens around them because some busted lighting implementation here. Come on, shoot. Do it again. Darken the earth with your musket fire.
Wow, you really give it up? I don't take orders from you.
Oh my god, I got shot in the back by my own stupid fucking units. Ugh. So there's friendly fire, but only towards us. Only incoming, not outgoing. Masterful.
Kill all non-deserters. Our army believes in only one thing, retreating.
Alright, I'm gonna need some health and armor.
Was asked, just to clarify, did it look this bad on release, or is it because Lithtech is a jank engine?
Lithtech isn't necessarily jank. It's just all the games that were made by budget developers wound up being jank. But yes, this game more or less looks better than it did on release, maybe slightly. Most people would have had to have played at low detail settings because, again, this game was not optimized in any sort of capacity. So this barely ran on computers of the era. I guess that's a sort of tough question to approach because you got to think about, like, you know, cutting edge of computers back then and how they still wouldn't have been able to run this game at capacity. This game really was forward thinking in its ways.
I have a question that might be hard to answer.
I'll try.
But do you have a least favorite engine? And I'll say engine that was like licensed out to multiple people.
Probably Genesis 3D. I mean, that's a pretty bad engine. It's a pretty bad games to its name. All right, catching
Do you have an answer?
Just because like it's the only one where I've played any amount of games on experience is if you exclude the game it was made for, then the Wolfenstein 3D engine.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Good answer.
Me, right now, there are probably better answers, but I have a special place of hate in my heart for Unreal Engine 5.
Fair.
Oh.
By the way, you see these nondescript boxes here that we can't interact with?
Yeah. Oh.
Wow, that's some... That wood expanded quickly. That was the communications tent, by the way. This, again, another unmarked objective that you would have to be a freak like me to figure out, to trial and error your way to solving all the side objectives in this game.
Well, they would have labeled it, but they used all their paint on labeling the powder barrels earlier.
Oh, that's right. They were such big barrels. If they were tinier, they would have used less paint. Then there would have been more of
like,
them.
oh god, the only other color we can write with is brown, and in the papyrus font on letters.
Really, war takes from us all.
I mean, awfully cultured of them to write in papyrus, really, when you think about it.
It is a classier font. I mean, if they had gone with Comic Sans, if they all had been aping Comic Sans with their handwriting.
If it was all Roten Wingdings.
That's the original Enigma machine, was Wingdings.
What a pose that guy's in.
He stanced up for action. That's a lot of guys and a lot of cannons. Thank God for the 2 shots. There's no understating how much easier that makes the game to be able to do that. All right, we have an objective here to dismantle the cannon armory.
Oh,
Hey,
hey,
those
here we
powder
go.
barrels.
I didn't expect them to make a comeback.
Hey, there's everyone's favorite character from this game. They have to have a cameo in the penultimate level. This is the penultimate level, by the way.
This
like
is
it would've been
basically the Avengers moment for this game.
I feel like it would have been better for the Union soldiers, safer for them if they just labeled all these powder barrels something like fish instead. Just so you wouldn't know to shoot them, to blow them all up.
Excess
Nothing's easier than shooting fish in a barrel.
That's true.
All right, these should be the last soldiers. Hopefully I can
Wow.
stop.
That's just such an old guy. What the hell?
Hey, they started running out of troops.
That one guy might as well have been wearing like an orange construction vest for how bright that white jacket was.
Oh, wait, there's more soldiers over there. I don't want to waste my grenades. I don't know if I have enough grenades to do the objective and have fun. Hold on,
That's
sir.
a terrible blood pressure.
1 second. Just give me a moment. Yeah, you'll get me eventually. Oh.
And look, we freed some Confederates. Who run off.
Run like cowards!
As they run off like a villain in Scooby-Doo.
Jinkies. Oh, I think I forgot a series of tents over there. What objectives do I have? Intelligence papers. Okay. Gonna prolong this level a little bit longer. Let's take care
Make
of
sure
the
to
cannons
blow
while
up
we're
the
here.
intelligence communications pen, and then also get the papers. Like, I should have read that in order. So about those papers,
Can't you just shoot the thing that says powder?
No, it actually. So the powder barrels you can't actually blow up. You have to blow up that one cart. Like, you know how the carts weren't destructible in any previous level, and it was the powder barrels that you had to hit?
Yeah.
This time around, they swapped it as a devil's trick.
Oh, maybe they did reverse the labeling then. Actually.
Oh, and now they don't blow up. Now it's blow up the cannon.
Of course.
Or is it?
Yes, it is.
Remember, you said you wanted to save grenades.
We got it. This horribly
Mean
inconsistent
treehouse.
rule set there. I mean, we haven't talked much about like just criticisms of this game's design in the way that we usually do, where we're just like digging in deep. Because, most of this shit's pretty self-evident. But
Mhm.
if there's one real bugbear I got, there's one thing I gotta take some issue with. It's how inconsistent shit is from level to level. How they just change the rules on you straight up as to what blows up, what doesn't. Whether you have more than enough supplies to work with, or whether you're like strapped for it. The amount of
If taking one step backwards will end the mission immediately.
All right, here's the
Oh,
last tent.
okay, there's a lot more guys. Well, 2 guys in one. Taking on your chimera tactics.
Don't mind me. Stop shooting, sir. I'm reading.
Wait, was time moving while you were reading?
No, it does pause mercifully.
Okay.
All right, well, if you're gonna play that way,
I was really thinking it was going to hit the flap of the tent and blow you up.
Honestly, I was thinking it was going to hit one guy and kill one guy.
no, we got lucky. Gods and generals are on our side on this one. These tent flaps are very hard to get in and out of, by the way. All right, now the long journey back. Let's just check in on the music one more time.
It's
Yep, very good. You know, just you have to check in on it sometimes. You gotta make sure it's still layering 3 different tracks on top of one another. And boy, howdy
really
is
trying to beat Kota Hoshino's Evergrace soundtrack. That won't work.
it. Well, what's the infamous track from it? Like something buying goods in Palmyra? Is that the?
Yeah, the one that's like 4 different songs layered on top of each other because his brain is simply a different brain than ours. And process multiple songs at once.
Long
He says
road.
add some vocals. We can have Civil War Draken go.
All right. That was camp clearing. Now for the wilderness.
Who
I'm
is
pretty
this?
Sure it's the last level.
Who's writing these letters?
Thank God you're able to take out those artillery. We sure have them on the run now. Let's not let a single bluecoat get away. Keep chasing them up the road towards Chancellorsville. They may try to escape into the wilderness, so keep the pressure on them and drive them back to the road. Our artillery will cut them down as they run scared. Keep a lookout for Union officers as well. Expect to run into reinforced positions as we get closer to the end, but do what you gotta do to destroy the enemy. I gotta blow my nose again.
Oh no, Cass got shot by too many musket balls and has been infected. Out of consumption now.
Okay, that'll get me through this level.
Yeah, Frank, one Union mission. To say, wow, we suck and I hate us. I hope we all die.
Ooh, look at that firing line. They're getting organized.
The only hope for my family is you surviving. I refuse to survive for my family.
Oh, we have 6,850 points. Yeah, I guess I will max out carrying. What else do we want here at the end of all things? You know, might as well put that up to amateur. And increase armor as well. And now we're ready to fight the fucking war.
I really wanted you to hop out and just get killed instantly somehow.
Oh, these guys are running away. These guys are great. They run to a designated point over here, and then they all just run back in a single file line. I mean, it's the best strategy I've seen so far.
Civil
in this
War
game.
veteran.
Oh, I forgot to check. What's our rank right now? What's our rank at the
It's
last
the
level? Still the same. Okay.
That's it. There's nothing better you could be.
We've peaked. All right, I think we can now carry 3 musket shots. Yes. Check out my incredible self-reloading rifle. Oh, we switched to the scope musket instead. Damn. Well, so much for that bit.
But you can't have a musket and a scoped musket?
Oh, you can. I can have up to 3 of each.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
This is I picked up a scoped rifle, so it auto switched me. All right, here we go. Here's the system. Oh.
Slime Generator says there's an article on Anavision where they mention that the people at the company got their start doing simulation technology as training materials for the actual U.S. Army. And I gotta ask, does that Army software also play like this?
God, I hope so. I forgot to mention that. Sorry. Slime in the Discord server did a lot of just independent research on this one. that should be shouted out. And they found that line about them doing milsim software at a certain point in time, because every game developer at that time was doing a certain amount of milsim stuff, because that's where the fucking money was. Oh.
Oh, I hear. Wow.
Yeah, the game is still playing technically in the background, but it has crashed in terms of the graphics renderer. So, have to Alt F4 and relaunch the game. Oh, good God. No, fast, quick, close that.
First crash of the night.
It's going to say Alt-Tab 2.5 hours ago. It was just waiting to deploy that on me. Okay. Continue game.
You have to put your points back into your shit.
Yep.
Thank God and General you able to defeat them.
You know, God bless it for auto-saving at the top.
If anyone wants to redeem another say something nice, functional autosave. I was joking about them being the village people, but
Back away slowly. Maybe you'll leave us alone.
Truly a meeting of the minds here.
I was once in your line, said young man, war was not going fun.
All right. There, got all the muskets I'm going to get out of that. Top off the armor before we advance. Oh. Sometimes the revolver loads, like, while it's in your inventory. You don't have to, like, tell it to reload. It'll just do it. I think it has something to do with topping off your ammo from, like, ammo boxes while it's empty or otherwise not full in your inventory. It's hard to say.
Have your hand in your pocket,
mysterious
like,
ways.
Your hand's just in your pocket, reloading your revolver like a fidget toy.
Yep, it's reloaded again, see? Oh. I didn't even pick up any ammo that time. Alright, Confederates are our guys on in this mission. I had to double check.
Well, what, you have some natural compunction to shoot Confederate soldiers or something?
I like how it's labeled on the bottom, on the sides, and on the top. Does this do anything? No, just a prop. Again, changing rules. Every mission, it changes the fucking rules as to how those things work.
Now, maybe now they're storing their fish in the powder barrels. Took my advice the wrong way.
Well, that looks like a lot of enemies.
Do you think this inspired the line of death clause in New Vegas?
Whoa! Did I do that?
What, the experimental Confederate super bullets? These are the guns they used to kill that Confederate strongman who's beating up everyone in the bar in Birth of a Nation. Anyone else here seen Birth of a Nation?
Yeah, I did.
Good, if you can
for
imagine.
film school.
Yep, same. It does include the title card that says the oppressed white minority in it. So that's pretty fun.
I mean,
I've never seen that movie. I don't think I'm missing out, to be honest.
It's Woodrow
you're
Wilson's
not.
favorite movie. It's history written in lightning, says a racist, who was also president. A big shocker there. A racist president. Golly gee. Perish the thought.
Jeez. Wow.
Wow. Imagine if it directly led to the KKK getting more membership out of it. That'd be crazy if that happened. Like, that would make him a really bad president, and we should bring that up more often. Luckily, that didn't happen.
It's great that nerds in our audience who only know video games have no idea what we're talking about right now. I always love to throw them for a loop.
Or the nerds in our audience who only know movies are like, oh, thank God they're talking about something that isn't fucking video games for once.
Now, do I backtrack to get some health and armor?
Someone in the YouTube upload comments like, I can't believe they didn't bring up Birth of a Nation.
You know what? I'm just going to quick save, and I'm going to chance it. I'm going to have faith in my skills as a gamer and as a soldier.
Oh, Sundown McMahon. Yeah, speaking of people who know film, has one of the worst composite shots I've ever seen. That's right.
Ouch. I'm going to bang my head against this a couple times, then I'll go back and get the fucking armor and health that I probably need to do this right. And I wish I could just blow up the barrel. Oh, they do blow up, but they don't explode. Fucking
okay,
awesome.
it's even a bigger
All
trick.
right.
There's nothing in the barrels, which is a great use of barrels because they're so easy to make.
All right, hopefully
Well,
the
we're
tree
late in the
line...
war. They've run out of powder.
Okay, so just to make people think they got more powder than.
Oh, shit. Get out.
It's called subterfuge.
My kingdom for some fucking health. You know, let's let sleeping soldiers lie there.
Is this
Oh,
the
wait.
end of the level up there?
What gave it away?
Oh,
I guess we really were the gods and generals. Oh, what?
Eliminate the
How-
firing lines, repulse the ambush, find and capture Union hiding place. Yeah, fuck it. I guess I'll go back and see if I can trigger any of those events to happen. Wait, what's up there?
help your
What
friend.
is- what? Hold on.
One of these motherfuckers better have a scoped rifle, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, what?
The truth is out there.
Imagine that. You know, all those people who are like, I bet if aliens visited and saw the stuff we're doing right now, they'd be so disgusted. Like, what if they visited during, like, the Civil War, actually, already? Like, oh, this sucks. These weapons suck so bad, yet they're still so intent on killing each other. This is...
Wait, who's
must
that
be
one
the
guy?
dumbest people alive. Oh
That guy shot 3 bullets out of 1 gun. And maybe there's hope for this species yet.
my God, is that William Russell? Russell? He's got the same skills as you. He must be. Just say, is there any game where you fight people who have the skills you've gained from line up? Like, there are multiple, but I remember that's actually why I couldn't beat the, get the full evil ending in Live Alive. Because my characters, the hero characters, I leveled them up and gave them too good of gear and moves.
Okay.
Still up there? Yeah,
It's me, your butt. It is powder. Alright, well, come on. It's the Union secret weapon.
Yeah.
Well, now I gotta shoot it. Hold on, what's over there? What's that building?
Nope.
Damn.
Impervious.
This war's over.
Didn't account for bullet drop. You know, this is a simulation.
Why didn't we complete the other objectives along the way? I'm gonna give this one quick trek back. Pick up some health and armor along the way. See if there's any units I missed. See if there's anything I can do to get those bonus objectives at the last second.
If you can find your friend in the Union Army who you can help, I guess,
I did hear a gunshot.
somehow.
I'll get the health first. Play it safe. Shoot again! William, shoot! I'll find you. Oh wait, nope. Never mind, I found it. Oh, quick save too.
Slime, you mentioned, I find the response films made shortly after Birth of a Nation far more interesting. How about D.W. Griffith's own film, Intolerance, the longest YouTuber apology ever made?
Yep. I mean, at least it's less noxious.
Right, but it's just like, sorry for being racist, would you like to watch a multi-hour epic movie to prove how not racist I am?
Oop. All right. Maybe the
It's
last
not even
enemy
an
we have
apology
to
for that.
kill.
I mean, that's true. And because if it was an apology for racism, it would have been about the same subject matter as Birth of a Nation. But instead, it's just a bunch of other stuff.
Final Union soldier. Run out.
It's William.
Have to
It's
fight.
William!
Is this William?
It's William.
Holy shit.
Instructions to my trusted comrades on my behalf in case of my untimely death on the field of battle. Dear comrade in the cause of preserving the Union, your reading of this letter marks the certainty of my death at the hands of the enemy. Yet while war has slain this body, my name shall live, and my blood shall continue to flow through my son. Therefore, I beseech you, do not take time or pains to collect this body for burial, but rather make the greatest effort to recover my field chest and deliver it, along with its contents, to my sweet wife Emily. For these contents shall be precious to her, and shall bind my son to the memory of his father. God bless and protect you, William Russell, Captain, United States Army of the Potomac.
If you find this,
So-
it is the certainty of
Wait,
my
what?
death or that you are my dry cleaner.
So
What is
time
this
limit
guy
on the mission
doing?
now. I forgot about this. Okay. Help your friend. So I would have to find, I presume, his effects, his personal effects, and
Well,
say something
hopefully
nice.
it wasn't more Bowie knives.
Isn't nice?
Wanna say
This
something
is
nice?
heartbreaking. Are you not? Are you not invested in the emotional play? I mean, we were playing as that guy before, and now he's dead. Isn't that
I mean,
crazy?
yeah, you know what? I could say by having this kind of setup where all the guys look alike, they really guarantee that you would accidentally kill your friend.
I forget exactly how to do it. So I just let time run out.
Why do you have a time limit?
All right, let's check the inventory. Nothing. Never used.
No, really, what is the time limit for? What happened?
Yeah, they don't really make it clear, do they?
So you could have left the stage without ever encountering him.
Yeah, that's the good ending. Because you
Oh,
never
so
know.
Sort of what if? Wow. So if you saw the movie, and you're like, what if things were different though?
Again, these characters are not in the fucking movie. It's
Right, but like if you imagined characters who happened to be in the film who didn't have speaking role as the characters in the game.
we're just guarding this fire, sir. Don't mind us.
Have you considered the Gods and Generals fanfic community?
Yeah, the shipping culture around William and Jebediah is. I mean, if you want
Do
something
you
nice,
lose if the time limit runs out?
we'll find out, won't we?
I guess.
All things in due time. I bet it'll just complete the objective automatically. I think they intended for you to hold out or something. Maybe they would send more troops up there or something. Who's to say? It's impossible to get in the minds of these developers. I did hear another stray shot.
Oh, that like weird off texture in the floor. You weren't supposed to like throw a grenade at it or something.
Oh, maybe.
No time now. Or is
Huh?
your god just got general?
No grenades.
I can't honor the memory of your friend by throwing a grenade right at his dead body. Or no,
He
that
doesn't
was your
want
friend
to
right
know.
here, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is
never
William.
mind.
Oh,
So now that the timer's run out, what's your objectives? Completed?
No change.
All right.
Absolutely no
by the way,
difference, one way or the other.
There was a say something nice that you were about to.
I was about to try to answer, please. This game is fascinating. It is the example of giving someone too many tools, too interesting an engine. I mean, there's multiple examples of this, you know, with the amount of licensing that Lithtech Gone went up to. It's so strange. It's surreal almost. Wait, hold on. Is that something? No, that's just the bottom of a tree. Shit. Yeah, I don't remember how to clear this objective. I don't remember there's something I pick up here. I mean, so okay. You teach a man to fish, and he fishes for a lifetime, or he feeds himself for a lifetime. You give a man a fish and he eats for a day. You give a man a game engine, like pre-built with all these features and functionalities in it, and they put out a piece of fucking garbage. You need to teach them how to actually effectively use the engine. That never happened at any point. That's a big reason why Lithtech and Monolith's, you know, attempts to make it catch on as an engine failed. Because of products, because of garbage like this, where it was just put in completely incompetent hands, and they did not offer the level of tech support that other developers of engines were doing at the time. You could, like, call id, and they would walk you through, like, the finer points of id tech, or they would, like, make bespoke code for you. You'd have Carmack on the other end, being like, yeah, I can integrate that into the engine. Not so with Lithtech and Monolith.
Cass, you weren't around during this era, so how do you know trees didn't do that?
No, that's fair. Things were different back then. There's species that have gone extinct since. I'm gonna end the game because
Sundown Moon says, exciting news. Gods and Generals has 3 whole entries on AO3. One's a Harry Potter crossover, one's in Chinese, and one's Yaoi with Force Fem.
Great.
And with that, we end Gods and Generals for the PC.
So I mean, yeah. To finish that, say something nice. This is fascinating that this product exists in the state it's in.
Why?
Is a tie-in to a movie license.
Why Why do you need tips and walkthroughs? You just beat the game.
Visit
You're
the official
done.
game site at exorcismofemilyrose.com.
Oh, there are credits. Flush that down the toilet. I talk about games where you see how the sausage is made, where you can see every like jagged edge and indecision made because they're so hastily and sloppily implemented that you can't help but take notice of them and pay attention to them, and you sort of come away from it with an education in how not to make a game. And this game is one of those primo examples of that. Hello, Oboe Shoes Games. Hello, Raiders. We just finished Gods and Generals. Your timing is always impeccable, Oboe Shoes Games. You always come at the very end of it. For all the sacrifices you made while we play a game, much like the wives of the Confederate soldiers who are featured prominently in the movie, Gods and Generals. We especially thank Ron Maxwell and Mark Barrick for having the vision and perseverance to make this project possible. Special thanks to Ron's team of Corky Ellers, Mark Polin, and Michael Atlin for all their help. Special thanks to G&G Games LLC for all of your support and generosity.
I feel like this
Here it
is
is.
any credits.
Special thanks to Ryan Carson of Lithtech, Les Pardue of Alpine Studios for helping to fill little cracks in there that could have done a better job. We also thank Dick Shotgun Weeks for allowing us to reference his website, civilwarhome.com. That's where I took all the bios for all the weapons from, by the way. Dick Shotgun Weeks. Incredible.
That's not a Civil War weapon.
And of course, here are your Activision value credits.
I feel like these end credits should have wrapped it all up by having every single song in the game playing at the same time.
Don't worry, we'll check in on that audio one more time.
Bjornsson, wow.
Lithtech Jupiter engine. What a game. What a game. And I'll go back. I'll replay the hardest level and see what it looks like with like maximum stats or something. If the game will let me alt-tab in and out while I put our avatars up on the screen so that you can give final thoughts on this. Oh, well, it broke because I alt-tabbed out of it. So I'll alt F4 out of it instead, relaunch it, and we can give some of the Raiders a look at a very unique and interesting game in the annals of Lithtech budget shooters. Perhaps the funniest of these games. I still think Sniper Path of Vengeance, for being a bad game, is also a very funny one, and one that does have a lot of like great moments. Mission list. Oh yeah, when you beat the game, they let you just like play any mission with no stats, as I'm to recall it. Let's check. Let's see if they give us any points. Let's see if they give us any. Nope. You start from scratch, so I can do one
You're
better
a lowly
than that.
Mexican War veteran.
Battle of Fredericksburg. All right. So this should be my save where I was accumulating as many points as possible, not spending them. Give me armor. Give me stamina. Give me a fucking snowball's chance in hell of being able to beat this mission. So, Sharky, your thoughts with all said and done at the end of this bloody conflict?
Man, this is Walmart core. Like, I know that when you got this, you got it at Staples. But, like, this is, like, one of those quintessential, you know, shovelware-ass PC games that's, like, it got coverage, you know, GameSpot reviewed this shit.
They acknowledged its existence.
Yeah, but it feels like one of those, like, cursed relics you would find still to this day hidden on a back shelf of a Walmart or an Office Depot. Like, something you would never have heard of anywhere else. And then you probably wouldn't have bought it, but if you saw someone play it on YouTube, you'd be like, oh wow, this got made. Like, I can't, this is a thing that, you know, I was playing DMC lately. And,
DMC Devil May Cry, the reboot.
DMC Devil May Cry, yeah. And I could get kind of like, not truly upset, but look at it and feel like disappointed at, you know, how it ended up in a numerous ways. I can't be disappointed in this because this is kind of This feels like almost like a philosopher's stone of a bad game. This feels like the ideal, one of those games that meets the ideal of what a bad game is. Because like, it's pure. Like there's nothing here that you could be disappointed with that it turned out badly, because of course it's a bad game. It's a first-person shooter based on gods and generals. It's a cheap-ass game made on the Liftech engine. Like, yeah, it was always going to be this, and I'm glad it's here. It's a weird-ass curio. I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about it because I think a lot of the game speaks for itself.
It is self-evident, as are the
that's what I was
laws
gonna
of man.
say. It's self-evidently bad. But it was fun looking. It's like a time capsule of someone in chat earlier said like it's a game jolt ass game. Yeah, like this could have been done in FPS Maker as well. Like I don't know if it would have been a better game in FPS Maker or not, but Sid.
Yeah, well, you know, Trey, you said I can't imagine being disappointed at this. The one thing I'd say that opposes this is if I was racist, I'd be really upset at this game for making
We
making
deserve
me look bad.
better.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's the kind of thing where like there's some things that are so bad that like this technically has repulsive politics, but also it's incapable of moving the needle. It is incapable of having a cultural impact because it's just too singularly bad. Like the way you'd come upon this game and play it and experience it, like outside of that guy who gave it a 6 out of 10 because the guns were realistic to shoot, I guess, like I can't imagine anyone else in the world even feeling that way about it. Genuinely, no matter how sick you were of futuristic shooters at the time, if you play this, they'd be like, I think I was too harsh on all those futuristic shooters I've been playing. There's a reason why they don't make these and they make futuristic shooters.
You know, there is a middle ground. If you pick that one futuristic crosshair, that's the opposite of, you know, this one.
Let's...
Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's see how it changes the
Let's dynamically scale it too.
There we go.
Wow, God, it looks even more futuristic than I thought it would.
Oh my god, this is how the dynamic scaling works. Look, it goes from this to this. What's the difference? What does that do? That doesn't do anything. That's not dynamic scaling. That doesn't tell you how accurate or inaccurate your shot is. That's nothing.
Oh, which says I'll remake this in Game Guru. I bet you could. Like, way less time and money than it took. Wait, there's another fucking occult arrangement of rifles there. Like, that's the kind of insight I'd want on this game. It's like, how did this happen? It's like, I mean, there's so many factors that can tell you why this happened the way it did. But it's the weird stuff like that that I think stands out. That's like, now, how did the occult arrangements of rifles happen? How did the rifles springing up from the ground like crops happen? Because that's not accidental. That's not incidental. Because otherwise every bad game would have stuff like that, but they don't.
What was the last save we had? Actually, you know what? I could just do this. I want to see real quick what max HP looks like.
I feel like you can see the path to that though in like the number of bad decisions it takes to get to a point where you're like, we want a sniper section. We don't have a system where you can actually carry enough ammo because we've dug our own hole in this thing. Fuck it, just pile up the sniper rifles here, and we'll make that the sniping section.
150
the fact
HP
that there's
is
more
the
than one way
maximum,
it happened.
by the way.
Oh.
That's
a comically large bar. That's good. Like, it would be comically large in any other game, but in this one, when you're operating at 50...
I just want to show it real quick. So
also, I mean, the music
broke.
is
wonderful.
that would happen. You know.
Remember, you can't alt-tab out of this game without a break-in, so I think that's going to do it for the gameplay in the backgrounds.
Yeah, any game that has cut musical tracks, like, obviously the solution's right there, isn't it? Just play the music at the same time as another song, and you can fit all the music in there. None of it goes to waste.
And you can hide all the points where it's supposed to loop, because you didn't do the loops very good. If you just have 3 other tracks playing on top of it, it masks the cut in the song. Brilliant. Any further thoughts? Any?
Well, I want to circle back around to, you know, Sid was saying about like the grossness of politics under the game. That being that you are playing almost entirely as a Confederate soldier, and that it is tied to this Confederate apologist movie that is Gods and Generals. But it is so easy to lose track of that, I feel like, in this, just because the game itself just feels like army men slapping against each other. Like army and toys slapping each other. More so than the actual army men games. So, like, yeah, that is there, but I feel like this game just is like it just feels fake in certain ways. Like it feels like the dream of a video game that got someone managed to like hook up wires to someone's brain and like extrapolate that data and go like, okay, video game, people shoot and run, and people run, fire, bad, okay, run, okay. Like it makes so little sense, and that's especially true with like how objectives change between things like barrels shoot to explode. Yes, barrels here shoot to explode. No, shoot other thing that shoot to explode. Then shoot barrel. Barrel in sky now. Okay. Bizarre ass game.
Sid, any further thoughts?
Nah, I think that about sums it up.
All right, so I guess I'll take a crack at it real quick. To again reiterate, this is one of the funniest bad games you'll play. You have to really, I think to really appreciate it, you have to appreciate just how bad the level design is, like how unfair it is, especially that sniper level, which is one of the meanest things that's ever been committed to software, I feel. But at the same time, it's so hard to get mad at it, because I think the word I would use to describe this game is ultimately like, oh, that's adorable. They tried. It's like they got a bunch of kids together to make a video game and to slap assets together, and this is what they landed on. Is the feeling that it has. Not to patronize the people who made this game, but you gotta patronize the people who made this game. This is like no one was proud of this. I can't imagine a single soul at the Anavision offices between their striving to bring realistic simulation racing to the masses and then doing this game for a paycheck. Like that anyone, one, gave a fuck about this, two, was particularly proud to be working on the tie-in game to a piece of Confederate apologia, unless they were, those Alabama boys, maybe a few of them, and three, proud of the final product that came out of it. It is so, just objectively, just looking at it, you know what it is. You're looking at it like the most surface level, the least seasoned gamer who has not played a video game, who should ostensibly be wowed by the fact that games are in 3D now, would take a look at this and be like, well, that looks bad. That doesn't look right. Look at the ground. Look at the soldiers. Look at the everything happening here. It is so on its surface, just from first glance alone, a bad game that you know what you're in for. And not every bad game is like that. Some of them manage to gussy it up, pretty it up, or to be at least like cohesive enough stylistically that you might believe it's like a real video game, right? And then you play it and it's not. But this one wastes no time, tells no lies, no secrets here, folks. from the word go, from the moment it blows out your eardrums with unleveled audio on the launcher, you know what you're in for. And there's something almost like that I almost appreciate about that. For it to be just so awful from every angle. I mentioned before, like you play this game or you watch it, and it's like a master course in how not to make a game, from every design decision that's made, from every asset that is used, every texture, every choice of sound effect. The decision to have, rifles be items that you use once then drop, unless you upgrade a stat that they could not account for in a reasonable way. Like, the reason why it works the way it does is because they didn't want to make a reload animation. They did not want to go through the trouble of doing a full reload animation. They could have so easily had it that you're picking up however many musket balls, and you would just have to charge the rifle in like 30 seconds to like 45 seconds time. They could have done that, and it would have been, frustrating, but it would have been like, realistic to the time. But it also would have been hard to animate that. And so they just didn't. It would have been hard to do an accurate reload for the revolver that you have. It involves putting not just like, taking out every spent round, but this would also be like a black powder rifle that would have required like putting the nibs in. It's a whole ordeal. It's like charging a musket for every individual chamber of the revolver. That would have taken a lot of time to animate. taken a lot of time on screen to activate and go through the cycle, go through the whole like, rigmarole. So this didn't. This duck it off screen like it's fucking GoldenEye 64. It probably would have taken time to have had like, characters in cutscenes who like animate and talk and tell you the objectives. Why do that when we can just put text on the screen? We can just like have the framing device, the narrative device of all these letters being sent back home between people and from your commanders and whatnot. Then we can just skimp out and having to pay any voice actors or do any like, rigging or animation. It's incredible. It is magnificent. It's short. And I think that's a big part of it. Part of the appeal of this is that it is short, that it is like, 2 hours to maybe 3 hours if you're being as thorough as we are. Because it doesn't overstay its welcome. And thank God for that. If this was like a 6-hour campaign, then yeah. Or even like, God forbid, a 12-hour campaign, then, oh boy, you'd get sick of this shit real quick. It'd give you a chance to buff up those stats and experience what it is to have like, the full health, armor, carrying capacity, all that. And that could be fun in its own way. But it almost accidentally works in its favor that you can only choose like one skill to really specialize in. Maybe like 1.5. It almost like pans out in a way where it feels like you're really scrapping for it. Because like that's the only progression that really matters, because your inventory gets reset between every level. You don't have that running consistent arsenal. It almost works in the sense that you like really do feel like you have to rebuild, and the only persistent thing are those stats. So you're going into each level hoping to like fill out that health meter, fill out that armor, fill out that carrying capacity. It almost works in a weird way as a progression system. Obo Shoes asked a pertinent question that I was going to like ultimately roll into this, which is, why is the only good Civil War game still Darkest of Days? Because Darkest of Days has fun with its premise, because it's giving you those future weapons, because it's not exclusively a Civil War game. It's a game about all like historical conflicts, all the ones they could fit into that game. Maybe loosens the thread a bit. Maybe they could have not done the levels where you're going through a concentration camp. That part's a little tugging my collar. But outside of that moment of bad taste, that game is not afraid to have fun. This game, in how unserious the developers clearly were about it, almost matches that energy. They did not go the direction of having like future weapons outside of the muskets that you manage to charge like 3 or 4 shots into if you max out that carrying stat. But because they cared so little about it, it feels frivolous in a weird sort of way. In the same way that Darkest of Days is intentionally like meant to be like a power fantasy where you're tearing through Civil War soldiers with like, energy weapons and whatnot, and those weird tracer bullets and so forth. Darkest of Days, fun game. Will show up on the show one day. And reason why other
Also
Civil War
has
games.
I was just gonna say, Darkest of Days also has like one of the funniest like NPC losers, a guy with the futuristic time traveling tech who gets killed by anybody in the Civil War at all.
So the reason why other Civil War games suck is because they're all too self-serious. There's a few strategy games that are particularly bad. I think there's one by like Inca Gold. I'd have to look it up in my library here if I look at my launch box. Gettysburg Civil War Battles by Stellarstone, another great example. Stellarstone obviously being the developers, the brain trust behind Big Rigs Over the Road Racing for the general audience. I know them for all their games. But that's a tactics strategy game that is literally broken to the point where you can't kill enemy troops. Where you just put 2 armies against one another and they both trade shots in perpetuity because they didn't script correctly the process of soldiers dying, and so no progress can be made in that game. Which makes it almost as objectively broken as Big Rigs.
We did it, boss. We completed our Civil game. No, Civil War. War? Oh.
What's the Inca Gold one I'm thinking of? There's another. I know I have it installed.
Brought up earlier was also the History Channel Civil War games.
Oh, those are mildly amusing. Those ones are more long in the tooth. We'll get into them one of these days just to show them off, just to say we did. But those ones, outside of a few like funny voice acting moments, are generally just like bad first-person shooting, boring, bad, very linear first-person shooting. It is what it is. And I'm not gonna. I can't spend too much time. Look up Inca Gold, and maybe it was a Western game. Maybe it wasn't a Civil War game. Maybe I'm confusing their Civil War game for a Western game. Anyway, point being that when these games are ultimately like super self-serious and they're dedicated to the realism, It can be done right. It would take a studio with a lot of production value behind it, like a AAA developer really committing to making the ultimate authentic Civil War experience, line battles, involved reloading, affixing bayonets and going in for the charge. It would have to come from like a really like hardcore simulation angle, but also have like all the polish you'd expect. Is the only way to do this right. And that's a really hard balance to strike. And it would still sell like fucking spoiled milk, because who the fuck is buying up Civil War games? Even if we were talking earlier about like, what if Call of Duty went Civil War? It would be the lowest selling fucking Call of Duty of all time, because people are going into it with the expectation of charging fucking muskets and that being boring as shit, and rightfully so.
Yeah, but what if they called it Black Ops 8 and it turns out that it was all hallucination?
Black Ops 1886. There you go. That's too late. That's actually past the Civil War. Never mind. You know, you get what I'm getting at here.
That's why it's so a simulation. But if the Civil War lasts until 1886,
we'll have to play out that timeline. Anyway, this is all just to tie this together so we can move on and be done with the show for the night. The reason this works is because the reason why it's amusing. It doesn't work. It's broken. But, you know, it's functional enough that you can trundle your way through it. With the benefit of quick saves, you can bang your head against it well enough to where you can get through even the toughest level of it. And really, that one tough level is the one spike in difficulty. And that's not even like a deliberate spike. It's accidental because they made the enemy snipers, too good and made too many of them. So once you get past that, it's a pretty clear like ride from the stealth missions that are like very easy to that final level. And, you know, maybe there's more to do. Maybe I fail to fully explore and to thoroughly do that last level to get those last skill points that you don't need, because that's the end of the game as soon as you cross that ridge. The fact that this game doesn't have a real ending is one thing. The fact that they try to do it in-engine, in the context of gameplay, that meeting of your friend, you know, where you find him dead and whatnot. They tried to do something. That's the only moment of them, like, seeming to care at all about tying up their little plot thread or what have you. But, you know, outside of that, it's all just frivolous. It's all very janky and busted in a way that is self-apparent, self-evident, and is therefore funny. It would have sucked to have been duped by this back in 2003 and paid the full $20 for it. But, you know, in the ways you can acquire it now in modern day, it hurts a little less, let's say, to get it for free and to just enjoy it on its own merits as a bad game, to know what you're getting into and not be taken by surprise. But also, fuck anyone who would have been excited for a Gods and Generals tie-in game, because that takes a very specific sort. That takes a very specific type of person, I would imagine, who was already...
They must have been upset because they weren't bored by this, because it's too weird.
Why wasn't it 5 times as long? And why'd I have to sully my mouse and keyboard playing as one of those Union boys? I don't know, man.
You know, the Union level was the hardest level because the Confederates were too tough.
That's, you know, maybe that's subtext. Maybe that was deliberate. Who's to say? I doubt it. I doubt anything in this game is necessarily deliberate in the ways that we would accredit a developer of, like, having, like, conscious thought and, like, having authorial intent they put into their game.
You don't think the horse models made out of wood and the powder keg barrel floating 600 feet in the air were deliberate choices?
You know, I think not. And that's unfortunate. I don't know. I wish the multiplayer had come out. If there's one flaw with an otherwise stellar product, I do wish they had committed to putting out the multiplayer mode. I mean, it would have died on arrival.
So good.
But, you know, we could have, like, spoofed LAN support. We could have probably done something with that and be able to enjoy a whole other angle to this busted-ass, borked-ass game. But what we have here is enough. It's fun enough for what it is. It is, you learn how not to make a game from this game if you are an aspiring game developer, or wait for Obo Shoes to remake it in Game Guru, the enhanced edition, the enhanced remake of it. All things in due time, and I'm holding them to it at this point. But for now, I've held us up long enough. Time to put an end to this charade. As I say, folks, I don't know why we're off center here, but thank you. There we go. Thank you.
We're a bit to the right, like the politics of this game.
There we go. We saved it. By the way, this is General Stonewall Lee crying. A fitting frame to end on from the movie film. that'll do it for Gods and Generals. Was glad to revisit this one. Was glad to capture it in HD this time around instead of 5760p like a doofus, like an amateur like I was back then, like a lowly Mexican war veteran and not an esteemed Civil War expert, as I am now qualified for, as we all certify now, having gone through this game. Thank you, too, for coming along. Thank you to the audience at home. Thanks to all who endured. Thanks to all the brave soldiers of the... No, never mind. Scratch that. Well, folks, if you liked what you saw here tonight, you might consider tuning in to future streams, to upcoming streams. What do we got on the docket? Well, Saturday, February 14th, we're starting Virtual Insanity, a Virtual Boy retrospective, wherein, over the course of however many shows, we'll play through the entire Virtual Boy library, in commemoration of whatever that... I'm never going to remember the name of what they call it, the Nintendo Switch 2 online service,
I
Virtual
think it's
Boy.
Nintendo Switch Online.
I always just think Virtual Console. They should have stuck with the Virtual Console branding, and it would have been apropos now with the Virtual Boy. So I'm never gonna break those two in my mind. I'm never gonna delineate that shit.
We might need to do some research into what that actually is before Saturday.
Yeah, probably. Well, I'll leave that to you, my friend. You can do all the work. I wrote the Virtual Boy article back in the day, so I'll just crib my own notes when it comes to the Virtual Boy history and whatnot. And especially the one to tune in for, the one to hold out for, in that series. Oh boy, still sick. People are probably waiting for us. We'll be waiting with bated breath for us to get to Virtual Lab. Long held as the worst game in that library. Of course, we've interviewed the developer of that game, become personal friends with them, feel certain ways about that game, and can also tell you with some amount of confidence going in that it is not the worst game for the Virtual Boy. Far from it. So, which ones are worse? You'll have to tune in and see, I reckon. Monday, you can join us for Casual Mondays, the show where we play not-so-bad games, shoot the shit a little more casually, etc., etc. A fun time is typically had by all. Tuesday, February 17th, we revisit the world of DMC Devil May Cry one last time for the Virgil's Downfall DLC, the capper to that sordid story. So people have held up that DLC as being the best part of that game, that the Virgil experience of playing as him somehow is the saving grace.
Hey, I don't think I've ever heard a single person say that, by the way.
What the? No, absolute. What the fuck are you talking about? We have comments on the videos that say that.
For Virgil's Downfall?
Yeah, there was one. Yeah,
there was one. Okay.
This time there was one.
I've actually read comments on replies to our birthday tweets saying the Virgil's Downfall DLC was great, though. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not even doing my hyper exaggerating, making up a straw man bit. There are absolutely unequivocally people who say that the Virgil Downfall DLC is the best part of that game.
Wrong.
Yeah, I look forward to them being proven wrong too, because it always struck me as a very stupid comment from very stupid people. But don't let that bury the lead on our thoughts on that one. And then Thursday, it's coming Thursday, February 19th, we'll have a new patron poll playthrough. Remember, this one was voted on by patrons, so that means we got to put up a new poll shortly. And I think I have an idea of what it is. I think we're going to go with the movie, the game, the poll, a selection of 5 other movie tie-ins. So I guess that's a nice segue from this to that. The games that will be up for polling on that particular poll will be Catwoman on the GameCube, Fight Club on the PlayStation 2, Minority Report, Everybody Runs for the PS2, Reservoir Dogs for the PS2. There were 2 Reservoir Dogs games you could have gone with. I'm going with the earlier one first. And Top Gun for the PSP Mini, which I know, I feel like Sharky is kind of... is that the one you're hoping will win?
That would be an interesting one to win, because that would be another one-off episode.
Hey, the one-offs are great. The one-offs are awesome. I prefer the one-offs over the ultra-long, the 2 long series sometimes. We gotta have both of them. They both have to exist, but...
It would be a good contrast to my recent replaying of, the entire Ace Combat franchise. To go from all of that to, and then Top Gun on PSP.
Well, hopefully, hopefully whatever the people want wins. not to sway the vote one way or the other. Vote Top Gun. Vote Top Gun for the PSP Mini. It'll be funny. It'll be a night off for me. I just get to riff. Don't let that steer you. Vote with your heart. And yeah, we'll see what wins, and that'll be our Thursday playthrough, however many parts that takes. We'll have another poll in the chamber ready to go. Another musket volley charged and ready to fire, if that happens to be a one-off on that night. So hey, if you like what you saw here tonight, you might consider joining our community, discord.gg/bghof, our Discord community, that is. A community of connoisseurs. Talk bad games, good games, every game in between, things that are not video games. Join our Bad Game Club, where every month we pick out a bad game for the people to play and commiserate over. This month it is Duke Nukem Land of the Babes by way of N-Space. They of Danger Girl recently played on the show. And the reviews are in. It's a bad game. So far, from what people have played so far and commented on so far. So if you want to suffer along with them, you can do so, or you can wait for next month, where we'll have a new game picked out for that Bad Game Club. If you really like what you saw here tonight, you might consider subscribing on Twitch, pledging on Patreon, or becoming a member on YouTube. Any or all of the above will grant you access on that Discord to a Patreon Saints channel, wherein you can vote in polls, the likes of which determined this game, make suggestions to help steer the direction of the show, gain access to exclusive content by way of VODs and other bonus goodies, and also be personally recognized and appreciated by us for helping keep the lights on at this bad game enterprise that we see ourselves in charge of now. If you can't financially support us, we completely understand. If you're looking for a way to support the show that is free, it's always free to help share the news, to get the word out about the show with folk you might know. Go over to our YouTube channel, find our suggested viewing playlist, 20 handpicked episodes that we think make for some of the best onboarding onto this show of ours. Share with friends, your brothers in arms, the generals in charge of your army, whoever, you know.
Your gods.
And your generals. Yeah, share this episode. This is a good one to share, I think. If you just want like a busted ass game, just one that's like a lighthearted time, I think this is a pretty good one. You can share this one out. We leave it to your discretion, dear viewers. And that will do it for all the plug-in. Anyone streaming at this current hour, keep the raids a-going. That's alright. We'll just wrap it up for tonight, why don't we? Oh my god. I was going to do the bit where I said, you know, we do our nicknames at the end, and I was thinking for alliteration, Confederate Cass, and I was like, nope, nope. Thought better of it. Immediately, I've been Civil War Cassidy on the side of the Union, if I had to pick a side.
I've been hardtack Charky.
And I've been It's William Sid.
Very good. And on that note, bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
So long.